What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new story. Today we have a story of a kid in the subscribers class who keeps on bragging about how he has a real job, but he's just a Discord moderator. But then the kids and the subscriber in the subscribers class learn that the Discord mod has a girlfriend slash kitten slash whatever cringe thing you want to call it. And let's just say that it is a very sus situation. It is very, very Chris Hansen-y, if you're catching my drift without YouTube being big mad at me. So yeah, with that being said, leave a like in the video to claim your free nothing, and let's jump right into the story. So anyways, we're going to call the subscriber who submitted the story Aiden. So there's a kid in Aiden's class who we're legitimately just going to call him the Discord mod. I'm not even going to give him a name. I'm just simply going to call him the Discord mod. And here's the thing. No disrespect to the Discord mods in general, because I have a Discord server and some really great people mod that staff. But there's definitely a certain characteristic. Like you can, when I say Discord mod to you, you kind of have an image that pops into your head. So whatever image that pops into your head, make them even worse, and then multiply that by 7, and you have the Discord mod in this story. So anyways, there's a kid who comes into class every single day. He wears the exact same anime hoodie. He wears the same outfit every single day. He has this stained, greasy, kind of like crusty at this point, so it's like kind of like stiff because it's so crusty and gross, anime hoodie that he legitimately wears every single day. And the thing is, right, since the crust and the grease and the slime, it just never leaves the hoodie, people have just kind of come to the conclusion that the Discord mod has just never washed the hoodie. And then he also wears the same slides with no socks every single day. And let me just say, those dogs are barking. And these are some sickly, gross dogs that are barking right now, dude. Like, it is really, really bad. So anyways, this kid comes in every single day. And one day, he sits down. And this is before anyone knows, like, really that he's a Discord mod. I mean, they probably guessed it by, like, some other reasons. They weren't surprised by it, is all I'm trying to say. But I don't know if they guessed it, right? So he sat down one day. He's like, what's up? Also, yeah, I always make all the guys I find annoying in these stories cartoon voices. It's just how it is, right? He's like, wow, it's so hard to be so responsible sometimes. And, like, at this point, Aiden, the subscriber, and a few other kids are sitting around him, and they're kind of just like, what? He's like, it's so hard to be responsible sometimes, man. I'm so mature and responsible. And they're all just like, okay, this kid is obviously baiting us into asking, oh, why are you so mature and responsible? And then just allowing him to go on some kind of probably like tirade of, how he's better than everyone or something. Very standard spoiled kid Discord mod behavior. You already know how it goes, right? But they kind of look at him. And Aiden is not giving him an ounce of satisfaction, so he doesn't say anything. And so the Discord mod's like, it's so difficult to be mature and have a job. And at this point, Aiden was like, oh, did he, like, start working at the local CVS or something? Or what's the word with that, bro? Like, what? He's like, yeah. And at this point, like, Aiden's actually kind of curious what the job is. He's like, oh, what's your job? He's like, oh, I'm a full-time Discord mod. It's very difficult. And let me just say for a second, no disrespect to any of the mods on my server. They've had to deal with a lot of crap, and I'm never there on purpose because it's Discord. I can't show up, right? I can't do that. I'm sorry, guys. But they deal with a lot of garbage, so shout out to them, and it is very difficult. However, they're not going around being like, oh my god, I'm so mature. I have a real job. It's called being a Discord mod for 7 servers. Like, no, bro, they're not doing that. They're actually, like, they are real people that actually exist, unlike this kid he's not a person, bro. Man's just a full-on clown. But you'll understand why I'm going so hard on him in a little while. I mean, I kind of gave you an idea in the beginning of the video why I'm not a fan of this guy. But anyways, he's like, yeah, I have to mod 6 Discord servers. It's very difficult. I spend a lot of time, like at least 20 minutes every day, doing my Discord. It is such a difficult job. And at this point, Aiden's like, oh, so do you get paid? Just because he knew that the Discord mod kid definitely did not get paid. Sorry to my staff, I'm still not paying you. Anyways, you'll get a union if you'd like. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyways, right? So, Aiden's like, oh, so do you get paid? You're like, well, no, but I mean, do volunteer firefighters get paid in money? No. They get paid in respect. And I am respected around those Discord communities. And Aiden looks at him, he's like, oh, so they respect you for being a Discord mod? He's like, exactly. When I walk into the general chat, they all bow down to me because I have the power to mute them, not permanently ban them, but I can kick them temporarily, and they don't want to mess with me. So when I come in, they all bow down to me, and they understand one thing about respect, and that it must be served up. They're all kind of just looking at this kid like, bro, he needs to chill out, bro. So they're all kind of like, Aiden and his friends are kind of like, oh, so you got a lot of respect around here. And the Discord's mod's like, yeah, basically, that's what I'm trying to say. I just got a lot of people respect the work I do. It's really difficult. Not anyone could be a Discord mod, bro. And Aiden's like, okay, cool. Like, I'm sure that respect will translate to around here. And he's like, and then the Discord mod's like, yeah, I'm already, like, noticing little things. Like, people are looking at me, and it's definitely not the stain on his shirt that's been there for a month. Oh, it's definitely, like, oh, I think they're just looking at me, and they're like, whoa, I wish I could be that guy. And Aiden and his friends are like, okay, sure, that's cool. All right, yeah, but okay, so the next day comes around, and the Discord mod continues to talk about how he is so mature and he has a job. However, it's funny. The Discord mod was sitting in the back corner of the room where Aiden and his friends sat that day. The next day he comes in and he sits in the middle of the room to the left, where a different group of people normally sit down. And Aiden and his friends legitimately heard him say word for word, bar by bar, like exactly what he said yesterday. Be like, oh my God, I'm so mature right now. They're all like, what? The kids up there are like, bro, what? He's like, oh, dude, I have a job because I'm an adult and I understand that adults just got to have jobs, bro. And they're all like, what? They're like working at the mall or something. He's like, no, I'm a Discord moderator for 6 servers. And they're all like, okay, I wouldn't call that a job. He's like, yes. And they're like, okay, do you get paid? He's like, no, but I get paid in respect. On all those servers, they fear me. And look, and the next day comes around, and Aiden and his friends are sitting back there, and he sees the Discord mod sit at the front of the class, is now talking with a group of girls, and Aiden just can't help himself, so he goes up to the front of the classroom to sharpen his pencil, but he literally, like, rotates the pencil sharpener at, like, 1 rotation per minute, because he just wants to hear exactly what's happening. So the Discord mod sits in the front of the class, where all the girls are, and he's like, hey, girls, what's good? And they're like, hello? What? He's like, oh, man, it sucks being so mature all the time. And they're all kind of just like, what are you saying? Like, I just don't understand. And he's like, oh, man, I'm just so worn out from my job that I have. They're all like, okay. He's like, do you want to hear what your job is? They didn't even ask. They're just like looking for the person who asked on this one. Oh, wow, he doesn't exist. No, but they're like, okay, I guess. By the way, if someone responds to you, okay, I guess, and they add in the I guess, that literally means no, bro. That means they're really not trying to hear or do or agree to or whatever they responded to you with. Take that as a no, basically. Or take that as the most reluctant yes. They're like a yes because they probably have to, but a no if they had a choice. Whenever someone says I guess after okay, you already know you're in the dog park at that point. But anyways, he's like, yes, I have a job and it is moderating 6, count them, 6, and he puts up 5 fingers, which, genius right there, 6 Discord servers. And they're all kind of looking at him like, what's a Discord server? And the Discord kid literally like falls over in his chair laughing like, oh my God, guys, you don't know what a Discord server is. Like, do you guys not even join your communities of interest? Do you not even like join the TV shows that you watch that may or may not be My Little Pony as well as me? And you don't join the Discord servers to figure out like the other people of interest? Oh my God, guys, laugh and point. Yeah. Turns out that no one was laughing and pointing with the Discord mod because, believe it or not, most of them had a healthy social life. Not saying if you're on Discord 24/7 you don't have a healthy social life, but I'm also not saying that you do. So feel free to join my Discord server, but spend like 20 minutes or less per day. Just healthy rule of thumb. Just make sure you're getting out there. If I have to teach a lesson to the masses, go outside. Grass is green. Grass is good. Fresh air is good. Meet some people outside if possible. Human interaction is pretty important. Just a little word of advice. But anyways, the next day happens. And the Discord mod has already made his runs like around the place, explained to everyone how he's so mature because he has a job or whatever. And this is where things start to go really, really, really south. Really, 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 really south, right? It just gets really suspect because these kids were juniors and the Discord mod had repeated the grades several times, which is fine. Sometimes you need more time to figure things out. However, this means that the Discord mod had turned 18 like a month ago. So he was officially an adult. So yeah, this is where the story starts to turn a little bit south. So anyways, one day the Discord mod comes in and he sits down next to Aiden and his friends. And Aiden and his friends are looking at him like, what's good, bro? Do you have to tell us about how mature you are again for moderating Discord servers? Because we've already heard the shtick, bro. We've already heard it. I don't think we need to hear it again. We got it. I understand. He's like, no. Hi, guys. Are you guys single and sad? You look very single and sad, Aiden. And Aiden did just happen to break up with his girlfriend 2 weeks ago. So he's like, well, actually, matter of fact, yes. Very recently. Aiden doesn't even know why he admitted to that because it's literally just giving the Discord mod more fuel that he definitely does not need. But he's like, oh, that's a shame because I've been in a long-term relationship for a while now. And she's beautiful. She is beautiful. Oh, yeah. And they're all kind of just looking at this kid. Discord mod's just like singing in a corner. Like, what was that song? Oh, no. The song is I'm Beautiful no matter what you say. I thought it was like that was supposed to be, I don't know. Anyways, sorry, guys. Discord mod can't break out into song anymore. But Discord mod was like talking about how he's got that like, oh, my God. She's so beautiful, guys. Yeah. And they're all like, oh, like, tell me about her. He's like, okay, well, she's my kitten. And they're all like, oh, cringe. No. Okay, so just another word of advice from the Connor Pugs channel. Don't call someone your kitten. That's fucking weird, bro. Stop. I never swear in the channel. I only swear when it's serious, and that is serious. Don't call anyone that, okay? Okay? Anyways. Yeah, so he's like, yeah, she's my kitten, bro. We've been together for so long. It's so great. And they're all kind of like, some of them started to raise some eyebrows. They're like, for so long? Like, how old is, what is the average age range of the people in your servers? He's like, oh, like 13 to 16. And they're all like, you know, the Rock meme where it's like that explosion sound effect and he raises his eyebrow. Insert that right there, right? And they're like, oh, where did you meet your kitten? He's like, oh, in one of my Discord servers. Insert Rock eyebrow emoji or eyebrow meme with explosion sound effect again. And they're all starting to look at each other like, hey, yo, Chris Hansen. Yeah, but anyways, they're all kind of looking at each other. And he's like, yeah, she's pretty great. And they're like, oh, how old is she? And he's like, that is private information. I'm not going to talk to my kitten. They're all like, oh my God. Oh my God. And Aiden looks at his friends, and the Discord mod eventually gets up and sits somewhere else to brag about his quote unquote kitten, right? And Aiden talks to his friend. He's like, dude, we might actually have a crime on our hands. Like, this is like serious, bro. Like, we need to investigate. Like, we need to like go in and try and investigate this stuff, because what is happening right now? Yeah, so sure enough, the Discord mod is sitting there, and, he leaves his computer to go up to use the bathroom for the next 6 hours, because all he eats is Cheetos all day, so his bathroom trips are half of his life. But anyways, while he's off at the bathroom, Aiden and his friends sit down at his laptop, and, like, they see it, and they're like, okay, like, it's open. Like, there's no password. Because the thing is, he just left it. Like, he just left it unaccounted for. So they all sit down, and they're like, oh, God, it reeks over here. And I shouldn't say reeks, because that has a different connotation. It smells so bad over here. Oh, my God. Oh, God, what is this? And they sit down, and, like, Aiden's like, dude, I'm not touching this keyboard. You look at the keyboard, it is literally 50% keyboard, 50% gamer grime, grease, and Cheeto dust. It is the most disgusting thing ever. It is exactly what you expect a Discord mod keyboard to look like. 1-for-1 matches up 100%. If you saw this keyboard, you would have been like, okay, he definitely moderates at least one Discord server. Like, at least one Discord server he moderates at a minimum, right? So they're like, okay. They go open his Discord account. There's like 1,000 notifications. They're like, oh my God, like, we're never going to find this out. And they kind of like quickly glance through the names or run the cursor over the names to see who's texting. And that's when they see kitten, heart, and they're like, oh my God, this is definitely her. So they type in it, they open it up, and she's like, hey, Mr. Moderator, I was wondering if you wanted to have a movie night tonight. I don't know. That's the best voice I could give. And so they're basically like, they find this, like, they scroll, they find this person's profile, right? And they click it, right? And they copy down the information. And after copying down the information, they start scrolling through the messages. And one of Aiden's friends, is sent on hall duty, basically to make sure that the Discord mod, when he's coming back, like, from the bathroom, which could be centuries for all the Cheetos he eats, and no water, drinks no fluids except, Red Bull and Cheetos. His diet exists on that, so he basically just goes to the bathroom for 7 hours per day. But anyways, when the Discord mod comes back, one of Aiden's friends will see it and then run back in the class and be like, go, so you don't get caught. Anyways, Aiden is scrolling up, trying to find anything incriminating, but unfortunately his friend runs back. He's like, he's coming back. Must have just had to go pee. So, like, Aiden, like, exits out, stands up, and they all go back to where they're sitting. The Discord mod sits down, starts typing away. The thing is, though, Aiden got the contact information for the Discord's mod's quote-unquote Discord kitten, right? So the idea is he's going to go add this person and just ask some information, some very basic information. Say he's a friend of the Discord mod. So anyways, Aiden and his friends, they go back home, and today is a Friday. So they go back home, and they were planning to have, like, a get-together anyways. So they decide that they will be Chris Hansen. They will be Takeshi O Spaghetti-O Word, right? That's their job today. And they take it with pride. So they sit down, and they create a Discord profile together. And they try and be like, okay, what possibly could I make this, right? And, another thing I forgot to say that they got information from, they checked, like, the 6 Discord servers that he was in, and they found the one that she was in so that they could add her naturally and pretend that they are friends or whatever, right? So, yeah, anyways, they make this profile, and it's like they're in a, I don't know, some kind of, like, specific anime something, which is fine. You can like what you want. I'm not bashing that at all. But they were in a very specific, like, anime show one, and so they make the profile pic, like, the main character from the anime or whatever, and they join that Discord server. And they see at the top of moderators, it's like the Discord mod is very intimidating. Oh my God, guys. They all have so much respect for me because I'm a moderator in this server. Yeah, but anyways, they eventually find his quote-unquote kitten, right? And they talk to her in chat. They're like, hey, I'm new here. I was wondering if you would like to talk about whatever, right? And she's like, oh, yeah, sure. I'd like to talk about this anime or whatever. What do you want to talk about? Something like that. I don't know. And she's all like, they're all like having a conversation. The whole idea is they're going to make this guise of friendship so that they will eventually be like, oh, can you add me on oh, no, that's her voice. Oh, can you add me on a private chat? And she'd be like, okay, sure. And then they'd be like, how old are you, by the way? I'm 14. Just like that, because that's how we handle serious situations like that. Explosion noises. Anyways, so yeah, that's the plan. And let me just say that there's a massive plot twist. Not only the fact that, you know, it's a little suspect, but there's a massive plot twist. This is one of the best stories I've ever received. So you definitely want to stick around and hear this out. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying right now. Anyways, if you made it this far into the video, comment Discord down below. That'll be the secret word of the day. I'll try and heart a bunch of comments to say it, but I can't really guarantee too much because I got a lot to do today. But either way, comment that down below. And also, make sure that you, or if you prefer listening to these on Spotify, I have a Spotify link down below. All the stories being re-uploaded on there now. And also TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. TikTok is where I repost my short videos. And then also Instagram and Twitter where you can submit your own stories. They'll be linked down below. And finally, the best way to support the channel is two things. First, finish watching this video all the way to the end, which the ending is pretty great, so I bet you'd want to do that either way. And then after you're done, go ahead and watch another story video. Like just watching another one after this one signals to YouTube that, you know, the channel's doing well, helps us reach new people. And a super easy way to do that is the storytime playlist in the pinned comment down below. Makes it real easy to watch these videos. Anyways, let's get back to the story. So Aiden and his friends, they make the profile account and they log into the Discord and they find the Discord mod's quote-unquote kitten, right? And they talk to her and they're talking about like anime or some crap, right? And eventually they're like, oh, hey, like they send a friend request and she accepts it. So they start talking privately, right? They start first of all talking about like anime or whatever. And then eventually they get around to the asking of the age. And she's like, oh, I'm 15. Uh-oh, Mr. Discord mod. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, so anyways, they're like, oh, okay. And they pretend that, like, they're going to keep on with the conversation, and they're pretending like, okay, whatever, like, we're just going to pretend like nothing very shocking just happened. We're going to pretend like we didn't have a shocking revelation of just a little bit of truth, right? We're just going to pretend like we didn't hear that. We're just going to pretend like that just didn't happen. Yeah, they basically end the conversation after that because they have all the information that they need. And they sit down, and they're like, what do we do? Like, what are we going to do about this? Like, the kids at school need to know. And Aiden and his friends are like, I just don't know what to do about this, right? So they call up one of their friends. That someone that is also in their class, but they're not as close with. And this is where the craziest plot twist of the story happens. So they're sitting down, and they're talking with this friend, and they basically are like, dude, they're like, I knew the Discord mod was like weird and stinky, but he's also like a weirdo too. Like, look at this. And his friend is like, okay. And he's like, I don't know if I should, you know what? It's going to come out anyways, so I might as well tell you. And they're all like, what? Because at this point, they're like, you know about this? And he's like, yes. Like, did you know that the Discord mod and his kitten have never showed their faces to each other before? And at this point, Aiden, wait, did I call the main guy Aiden? Yeah, Aiden's like, wait, how do you know that? He's like, you also know that, you know, the Discord mod has never FaceTimed with this girl. They'd never seen each other before. And he's also never video called with her, never voice called. They've only typed. They've never spoken. They've never seen each other. And they're all just kind of like, dude, how do you know these things? Like, do you know these people, like, personally? Are you close personal best friends with the Discord mod? Like, how do you know this? And basically, the friend of Aiden and his friends goes on to say, do you ever think that, you know, this kitten wasn't actually who you think she is? And they're like, wait, wait a minute. He's like, do you ever think that this kitten isn't even a she? They're like, wait a minute. He's like, yeah, I think you guys caught on, but I set up the Discord mod to see, and I made it very clear my age and who I was as this kitten, right? This is a honeypot, bro. This is a trap. And I've been planning to come out with this information on Monday when you get back. Everyone's like, yo! Yeah, so basically this kid in Aiden's class had been found the Discord mod very interesting and just wanted to see if, like, he would fall for such a thing. And, yeah, he did fall for such a thing. And he apparently, right, the friend of Aiden goes on to explain that he's made it clear a billion times that his character that he played was 15, right? That was not 18, had quite a range from him, right? Made it very abundantly clear, did not he was the one who started talking to her. He came on to her, right? He made it very clear that he was 15 a billion times, just so that, when the chat logs came out, the chat logs came out. And basically, right, he explained to Aiden and his friends that on Monday, he was going to start telling people, revealed that the kitten that the Discord mod was, bragging about was actually him pretending to be a 15-year-old. So, yeah. Let me just say that that was the most craziest night they've ever had, having that revelation. I'm just oh my God, wow. So, yeah. Monday comes around, and a word gets around school so freaking quickly. It is the quickest thing that gets around school. Basically, this kid just tells people and says, hey, tell everyone else. Make this spread. And he also sends, these, screenshots or whatever and all that kind of stuff. And they get into class, and the Discord mod is sitting there, and everyone's, turned around looking at him with this look. With this look, right? And he's just like, what's up, guys? Watch good. Look, he doesn't know yet. So he starts bragging about his girlfriend again. And it is the most awkward, uncomfortable thing because Aiden knows that everyone else knows all the details that he knows. So they're all like, oh, really? Someone responds because he's like, oh, yeah, my girlfriend and I are so tight. And someone's like, oh, you guys are so tight? Someone from the front of the room's like, oh, you're so tight? Then how old is she? And he's like, dude, I'm not going to reveal her private information. That's asking for her social security number, bro, or her address. I'm not going to do that. You're definitely a weirdo who's going to dox her or something. And they're like, oh, really? Really? And the whole class is so tense or whatever. So eventually, the friend of Aiden who made the fake account to expose the Discord mod goes, this was the plan the whole time, but goes to the front office, goes to the front desk, basically explains everything. And the administration looks it over. It needs to be kind of walked through, what is Discord? What is a fake account? Are you sure this wasn't him knowing that you were pulling a funny prank on him? Eventually, they're like, oh my God, this is actually kind of bad. So yeah, they went to the administration with all this information. And eventually, the administration actually comes to the conclusion that, this kid is a risk to have in their school. So, yeah, eventually they asked the Discord mod to come to the front of the office, right? You can hear it on the loudspeaker. It's Discord mod, come to the front office or whatever. And from what Aiden has been told, because obviously he wasn't there, but from what he was told, is the Discord mod was basically told, hey, man, you gotta go. I don't know what else to say.
Click on the video on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click it. Do it. From a dream stan who thinks he's dream sexual to a dream stan who tries to fight a kid for not liking Dream, these are the craziest dream stans of all time.
And we're crying, 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 like a wounded animal.
So one day in the subscribers class, they were all sitting down for lunch, and this kid comes up to them, and he sits down. And this kid, he was a little strange, but nothing too crazy, right? That was until this day, right? So the kid sits down and announces to all of them that he is dream sexual. And real quick, let me just say that this is in no way a dig on any kind of sexuality or gender preference. At the Connor Pugs channel, I will love you and respect you for however you feel or whatever is you. Just want to make that super clear. Because this kid goes on, because someone says like, hey, bro, like, what is dream sexual? And he goes on to say, that means that I am only in love with and attracted to dream. That's it. And everyone's looking at him like, hey, bro, what does that even mean, bro? Like, what does that even mean? And they're all just like, kind of like sitting around the table. And this kid's like, yeah, when I go to sleep, the only thing that I think of is dream. When I wake up, the only thing I think of is dream. I think of his beautiful, beautiful face. And this is just as soon as he did like the face reveal. So this is a pretty recent story. And he's like, yeah, when he did the face reveal, I literally sat there and caressed my computer screen with love and affection. So obviously everyone around the table is like, hey, yo, bro, what are you saying right now? Like, pause, bro, what? Yeah, and he goes on to say, yeah, so I'm sorry, ladies. The only one that I love is dream. Yeah, so this kid was, I don't know if he was doing it for, he was probably doing it for attention, but even if he wasn't, or if he was, the lengths that he went to, as you guys will see very soon, was super extreme. Like, this kid went to the craziest lengths. You know, I'll just tell you, I'm not going to like tell you about it. I'll just tell you exactly what he did. So one day in class, after telling everyone that he is dream sexual and only in love with dream, which is just such a funny statement, but after saying that, he comes into class and he brings in a life-sized pillow with him. And on the life-size pillow, there is a printed out photo of Dream's face taped onto the top of it. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of those like kind of strange anime body pillows. And if you have one of those, bro, just don't tell anyone. Okay, you know what? If you guys have one of those, do not tell anyone you have it. No, don't. I'm not trying to be, no. Just don't tell anyone. Trust me, I'm going to make your life better. Don't tell anyone you have one of those. And if you don't have one, don't buy one. Anyways, so he brought in one of those like full life-size body pillow type things. So it was a big massive pillow with Dream's face taped onto the front of it. And remember, this is in the middle of class. He sits down in the back of class. He's like, hey guys, thank you so much for accepting the fact that I'm dream sexual yesterday. And I just wanted to let you guys know that this is a recreation of my future boyfriend Dream. And everyone's like, hey, yo, bro, what? Yeah, so basically this kid brought in a life-size plush of a life-size like Dream body pillow, bro. He brought it into math class. So the subscriber's just looking at him like, it's 8 in the morning. Oh my God. Dude, it's 8 in the morning. Please, bro, please. Anyways, right. So sure enough, right, you know, he's sitting in the back of the class and he's most likely doing this for attention, but it's still a funny story. And he's just sitting there and he's just caressing the Dream body pillow and he's whispering into it. And the subscriber is trying to pay attention in math class. Look, it's not like the subscriber liked math class. I mean, who really does like math class? But he was just trying to pay attention, bro. He was just trying to give it us all. And yeah, but he couldn't pay attention to learning how to, I don't know, factor polynomials because all he could hear was, hello, Danny Dream. Kind of like whispering into like the body pillow's ear. And the subscriber turns around and he's like, bro, cut it out. And the guy whispers back, so you're not accepting of me? So you're not accepting of my preferences? That's really offensive, man. I'm going to tell the principal. And I mean, obviously, this kid's just like really just trying to troll everyone right now. But he decides to take the trolling to a new extreme. An extreme that was a little bit too crazy, right? So in the middle of class, when the teacher turns like, because like remember, he's sitting pretty far in the back. But he goes way too crazy. He throws the Dream body pillow onto the floor and hops on top of it and starts like making out with the Dream body pillow. And bro's just like, oh yeah, Daddy Dream, I love you so much. And he doesn't whisper anymore. He's full on straight up yelling this. He's like humping the freaking Dream body pillow in the middle of this class. And everyone's looking around like, bro, it's 8 in the morning, dude. It's 8 in the morning. I'm just trying to be in class. What is my life? Yeah, so sure enough, everyone turns around because this is a massive scene. And they just see some freaking random kid like humping a Dream body pillow on the floor. And obviously, no one's going to look at this, be like, typical day in Ohio, and then like turn back around. No, they're going to say something about it, dude. So sure enough, all the kids are like, oh my God. Like some girl starts like screaming or whatever. A bunch of kids are laughing because it's like ridiculous. That's when the teacher turns around, sees what's going on, and is like just staring at it for like a good 5 seconds. Like the teacher doesn't react immediately because he's probably thinking to himself, okay, I'm fairly certain that in the how-to guide to be a teacher, they never covered what to do if one of your students is humping a Dream life-sized body pillow, loudly moaning and screaming, I love you, Daddy Dream, in the middle of class. Believe it or not, that is not normally covered in the manual of how to be a teacher, which is pretty crazy in my opinion. I feel like that is a very common occurrence that happens all the time. And if you're a teacher and you haven't dealt with that before, then you're obviously not a teacher, bro. You're lying. But anyways, after about 5 seconds, the teacher's like, Jonathan, let's say his name's Jonathan. Jonathan, what on earth are you doing right now? And like Jonathan looks up, he's like, you can't be mad at me. This is just my preference, bro. I love Daddy Dream. Which is just such a lame excuse. So obviously the teacher is like, no. And the teacher goes over, like picks him up. It's like, you're going to the front office. You're a distraction in the middle of the class doing something super inappropriate and he looks down. And I think the teacher thought this was just some like big pillow. And he looks down at the pillow and there's like it's the photo of Dream's face just taped onto it. And the teacher looks down at him and he just looks at Jonathan with this look of, why? Why, bro? What even is this? Yeah, so sure enough, he sends Jonathan to the front office, and the teacher, like, attempts to go back to teaching, but obviously it's pretty hard to go back to teaching, or at least have the class's attention after a kid literally is humping and screaming a body pillow of Dream in the middle of class. Just typical day in Ohio, I guess. And if you thought that this Dream stand was crazy, wait until you see the next one. So anyways, there's a kid in the subscribers class who was a very big Dream stan. And first of all, there's nothing wrong with liking Dream or the content he makes. I really don't care. Also, this, I'm not talking about any like Twitter stuff that was been going on. Just generally liking someone's content, there's nothing necessarily wrong with it. In fact, like back in like 2019 when Dream first started posting those manhunts, I didn't really watch any Minecraft content, but I watched some of those videos and I was like, dang, these are pretty entertaining. So nothing intrinsically wrong with liking those videos, right? However, there was a girl in the subscribers class who took things way, 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 way too far. So basically, every single day in class, the subscriber would notice that the girl, we're just going to call the Dream Stan, right, would just be watching Dream's Minecraft manhunt videos. And which is, like, fine to watch stuff in class and not pay attention. I mean, fine meaning you will not do well in class, most likely. But if you're prepared for that, then, I mean, it's your life, I guess. But, I mean, for the respect for your parents, try and do it okay in school, at least. But anyways, this girl would legitimately just be watching the entire Dream, would just be watching Dream videos. Dream SMP highlights, Dream SMP full stream, Dream Minecraft manhunt. Just be watching Dream content every single day in class. And, like, literally, she would pick up her phone when she was done watching, like, in class, put in her AirPods. Actually, her AirPods were in the whole time, or headphones or whatever. She would just pick up her phone and walk out of class in the middle of watching her Dream, like, SMP stream. And she would just keep on watching the stream and just keep on walking, bro. Yeah. So she would walk from class to class watching Dream videos, sit down in class, sit down in the back of the class, and then continue to watch Dream videos. It was as if she was, like, at home just watching videos by herself, but in class because she had to, right? And that's okay, I guess. I mean, you should probably pay a little bit of attention. I mean, try and, like, bro, at least try. I don't know, man. But anyways, the craziest thing with this story was in an exam. All right, so basically, there was an exam in a class that the subscriber had with this Dream Stan. It was the class that he had with her that she never paid attention in. But basically, there was an extremely strict, like, no phones, no electronics, not even, like, an Apple Watch or something like that. Not even, like, I don't know, like, you couldn't even use a calculator, right? Nothing with technology, electronics, anything like that was allowed during the exams. And this was just basically to be like, okay, we want to make sure that you're not cheating or anything. And the way that we perceive cheating is like any connection to the internet, because we don't understand the newest like cheats or hacks that kids will have. So you cannot have any access to the internet or anything like that. Basically, you were asked to put your phone in a bag or, like, first of all, not bring it into the classroom. There's a bin outside you could put your phone in.
and were required to put your phone in. You couldn't bring your computer in, couldn't do anything like that. So anyways, it was the day of the exam for the subscriber in the dream stand, and the subscriber watches as, first of all, he goes up in line, and the teacher's like, all right, you got number 2 pencil? He's like, I got 2 of them. He's like, all right, there's scratch paper inside. Don't bring anything else in. And yeah, so sure enough, and then he walks in and he puts his phone in the container or whatever. And the dream stand was right behind the subscriber. And he watches or he listens as the teacher says, all right, put your phone in. And the dream stand's like, I didn't bring a phone. And the teacher's like, are you sure? And the dream stand says, yes. And the teacher isn't going to like check her pockets or something like that. But he's like, okay, whatever. The thing is, right, the dream stand did bring her phone, but her plan was that she was going to go into class and she was just going to watch dream videos instead of doing the final exam. But she had to be a little sneaky about it. Or like not final exam, but big exam. This wasn't like the end of the year or anything like that. So sure enough, she walks into class and they all sit down and they're giving out the exams or whatever. And the subscriber is sitting behind the dream stand since they were like assigned seats for the exam where you could sit literally anywhere else for like normal class. And he watches, okay, the teacher goes around, gives out the exams, and he watches as the dream stand fishes around in her pocket. And when the dream stand is fishing around in her pocket, she pulls out her phone. And the subscriber's like, oh my God, is she going to cheat? Like, the first thing that went through the subscriber's mind is that, okay, this girl obviously didn't pay attention or care in class. So she's probably looking at these questions on the exam and being like, dang, I have no idea about any of these, right? Which, fair enough, I guess. I mean, next time study, I don't know. But sure enough, the subscriber was wrong here. Because the dream stand, in fact, was not going on here to cheat, because the dream stand pulled out Apple earbuds, connected them to her phone, and put earbuds in and started playing a dream video. Yeah, and the subscriber quickly glances at her test sheet, and she literally just filled in the A bubble, because it was multiple choice, for every single answer within like 2 minutes. So basically the dream stand was just spamming down answers randomly so that she could start watching dream videos. So at first, like, the subscriber's like, you're an actually idiot, bro. You're an actual fool, bro. What are you doing right now? Like, your mother is not going to be happy. But sure enough, right, the teacher notices that the student, the dream stand, has earbuds in and a phone out. So the teacher walks up and, like, kind of taps her on the shoulder, and she looks up all startled or whatever, and she's watching a dream video, and the teacher's like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to take your exam now. Like, there's the very strict, like the phone policy or whatever, the electronic policy. I asked you at the front door if you had one, and you said no, so you not only, like, could be cheating right now, but you also lied to me. I'm going to also ask you to follow me to the front office. So the dream stand tries to explain, but I'm just watching YouTube videos, which is just like, okay, why are you watching them during an exam? Get up and leave if you're done, right? Which that was the craziest thing. Like, the dream stand could have just like put in random answers, then got up and left. But no, they needed to watch more dream videos. So yeah, the dream stand, I don't know exactly, the subscriber who submitted this story doesn't know exactly what the punishment was. But basically, I mean, she was caught cheating, and she also was caught lying, which punishment's pretty bad for that stuff. So yeah, and if you thought that this dream stand was a little bit ridiculous, you are not ready. You are simply not prepared for this final dream stand that blows all the other dream stands completely out of the water. So this final story is crazy. Anyways, so once again, the subscriber, his friends, and this new dream stand were all sitting at a table for lunch. And they were having a discussion about internet creators. They were just talking about, like, who they liked, who they didn't like, who they thought was, like, fun to watch. Like, one kid was like, oh, I love Speed, I show Speed, whatever. Another kid's like, oh, well, just talking about, like, YouTubers and TikTokers and those people and Twitch streamers that they all liked. So this one kid was a huge Dream stan. Huge fan of Dream, right? Which is totally fine. Once again, I've said this before, it really doesn't matter. But he basically says, oh, I'm a huge fan of Dream and the Dream SMP. And that's when another kid, not the subscriber, but a friend of the subscriber, is like, oh, Dream sucks and the whole Dream SMP is lame. Which, you know, maybe you shouldn't be trashing on things that people like, but also it's not that deep. So I have a position where you probably shouldn't, but also who cares? Literally, who cares? If you said, I like Connor Pugs, and someone says, oh, his videos suck, then, okay, difference of opinion. It's not that deep. But the Dream stan took it extremely personally, and the Dream's like, hey, you can't be talking about Dream that way. And like the subscriber's friend, we're just going to call this guy Ben. So Ben is the friend who said the Dream sucks, and then the Dream stan is obviously the guy who likes Dream. Ben is all like,
bro, it's not that deep, bro. Like, who cares? Like, his stuff sucks, but you can like it. It's fine. And the dream stand's like, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. I am not letting you get away with such slander like that. And the subscriber is just kind of sitting there like, why is this heating up? And Ben's like, dude, his stuff sucks. Like, get over it. Like, whatever. You can like crap content, but that's not my fault. So obviously, like, I don't think Ben was trying to de-escalate it either, but the dream stand really wasn't helping. And the dream stand's like, bro, that is like, you can't talk about my mother, my father, or dream like that. That's the line I draw. Which bro really just said that, like, you can't talk smack about my family or dream. Bro, did you really put dream at the same level as your mom or dad? Like, I can kind of understand it when, like, someone says something disrespectful about someone else's, like, mom or dad, and then they can get angry about it. Personally, I don't take it that seriously, especially if the person wasn't being that serious. Like, if someone says a joke, I might kind of give them a look of, like, bro. But I'm not going to, like, become a massive meathead and be like, whoa. Like, obviously, that person was just, like, a stupid, and it was, like, a dumb joke or whatever. But I can understand that. Like, people that, like, get upset about that stuff, I can understand it a lot. I just don't take it that personally. But getting that upset about dream, bro. So the kid literally, the dream stand, stands up and is like, bro, you're going to have to, I'm going to give you a count of 3 to take that back right now. And Ben is just looking at him like, okay, count to 3 then. And the dream stand's like, 1. I'm warning you, dude. I'm warning you. You don't want the smoke. You don't want the smoke. And, you know, the kid's just looking at him like, Ben's just like, bro, give me the frickin' smoke then. And the dream stand's like, no, 2? I'm warning you, bro. You don't want it. And, you know, Ben's like, okay, actually, I think I do want it, actually. And Dream stands like, 3? One more chance, bro. Take that back and say Dream is awesome. And Ben is like, dude, no. The Dream stand walks over to Ben and is just like standing above him, looking, trying to be as menacing as possible. And Ben turns to the subscriber and is literally in the middle of saying, look at this kid, man. When, boom! The kid literally slaps him across the face. The Dream stand slaps Ben across the face so, like, hard that Ben literally falls out of his seat onto the ground. So everyone around the table just goes dead silent with shock. They honestly just can't believe that they just saw they just can't believe their own eyes at this point. This kid got so mad that another kid said Dream makes trash content that he literally smacked a kid so hard across the face that this kid fell onto the ground. And Ben is like, oh, what the what, bro, why? Because, like, this Dream stand guy wasn't even that, first of all, you shouldn't be doing this anyways, but this Dream stand guy wasn't, like, that close with these guys. It was kind of like a random group of guys that kind of, like, were sitting together, and this Dream stand was just becoming friends with these guys. Like, sure, look, if that really offends you, oh no, you made fun of Daddy Dream, right? If that really does offend you, maybe talk to him after the fact and just be like, hey man, I really would appreciate if you spoke poorly on Dream. I mean, low-key, I might laugh at you, but then I wouldn't want to upset you constantly. Like, I'd find it, like, stupid, but I also just wouldn't make fun of it. And that's a much better plan or strategy than just literally karate chop slapping this guy across the face. However, right, the thing is, this was really bad timing for the Dream stand because the school security guard happened to be chilling, getting lunch himself, and he saw this. So all of a sudden, within like 30 seconds, the Dream stand has like both of his arms put behind his back forcefully, and he's like, who is it? And like the Dream stand looks around, and the school security guard is just like, dude, I don't know if he says dude, but he's like, I just saw you assault this other student. That's clearly against school rules. You're coming with me. So the Dream stand was escorted out of the place, and yeah, he actually got suspended for 2 days. Moral of the story is don't slap people out because they don't like Dream, bro. What?
Click on the video on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it.
From a Dream stand who tries to poison their friend for saying that Dream sucks, to a Dream stand that wants to carry Dream's baby. Bro, what did I just say? These are the craziest Dream stands ever.
And we're crying, crying, crying like a wounded animal.
So anyways, right, the subscriber was friends with this girl. Let's just say that she may or may not have been not that close with her after she tries to poison her for saying the dream isn't great, but we'll get to that in a second. But anyways, the subscriber had this girl and several other girls over at her house. So this was like a Saturday morning, whatever. They were just kind of chilling. You know, they were about to have lunch, so I guess it was closer to the afternoon. And they were sitting around the kitchen counter, and they were literally just talking about, oh, who's your favorite YouTube creator? Who do you watch? Stuff like that. And the subscriber was a fan of a lot of people in the Dream SMP, but personally said that she didn't like Dream specifically, which is totally fine. You're allowed to like creators. You're allowed to not like other ones. You're allowed to have preferences. I mean, you don't have to like my videos. Just don't watch them. Like, it's the same thing with her. She didn't like Dream's videos, so she avoided watching his videos. And, you know, when he appeared and stuff with other people, then that was fine, I guess, but he just preferred not to. Easy enough, right? However, there was one girl, who we're going to call the Dream Stan, who the subscriber was friends with up until this fateful day, of course. But the subscriber was friends with this Dream Stan, and let's just say she did not take it very well. And did not take it very well is a bit of an understatement, because she did not take it very well at all. So anyways, right, sure enough, right, you know, the Dream Stan is like, oh, you feel that way? Well, Dream's my favorite creator. And the subscriber's like, oh, okay, that's cool. I just don't really like him. Like, I'm glad you like him. There's nothing really wrong with him. I just don't like what he does. And the subscriber kind of thought that, oh, whatever. And all the other girls, like, at the house probably thought, like, oh, whatever, who cares? And they literally changed topics. Like, they just naturally move on to the next thing in the conversation. And about 5 minutes into it, I think they were talking about, like, one of their classes or some test that was coming up. The Dream Stan, who had been silent for the last 5 minutes, immediately just, like, randomly bursts out saying, what do you mean you don't like Dream? Like, whoa, what's wrong with him? And the subscriber just looks at her and is like, nothing. I just don't really like the videos he makes, man. Like, I just don't think it's that big of a deal. And, you know, the Dream Stan's like, oh, okay. It's very awkward. It's very weird. But she obviously is very, very, very butthurt by this. So they all leave the room to go, like, watch TV or something. And they have, I don't know what food they had for lunch, but it was, like, sitting out on the kitchen counter, basically ready for them to eat when they came back. However, one of the girls who went to go, like, not the Dream Stan and not the subscriber, but one of them that was just, like, a friend who was there, was a little bit, she was going to be very important later in the story, so we're going to call her Kate. So anyways, it's the Dream Stan, the subscriber, Kate, and a bunch of other girls, right? So they're all sitting in the living room, which is, like, close on the first floor where the kitchen is. They were just watching some TV show or something, and that's when the Dream Stan said, I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Remember, the Dream Stan, or just so you know, the Dream Stan normally was one of the most talkative ones of the group, but ever since the subscriber admitted that, you know, she did not like Dream, the Dream Stan went dead silent. The Dream Stan said nothing. It was completely quiet, which was totally out of character. It was just like she was brewing on something, planning, thinking, plotting, whatever, right? And so the Dream Stan gets up and disappears. And that's when Kate, the subscriber's friend, says, I'll be right back. For some reason, Kate just had a intuition, kind of like a gut feeling that she should at least go in and look, just check on the Dream Stan for a second, right? Sometimes you just get these gut feelings, and instead of being like, oh, well, I'm going to overanalyze this and come to the conclusion that I should not listen to my gut, sometimes, look, I've said this before, but we've evolved over many, many years, and sometimes there are just things like intuitions that we don't understand, but our subconscious understands. There's just little things we pick up on that we can't, like, process at the top of our brain, but it's just something that we know. It's just something that we know to be true, and sometimes you just got to listen to that. That's all I'm going to say. It's just, like, not always going to be right, but you should always listen. And this time, Kate was 100% right, because Kate walks into the kitchen, or walks, like, around where the bathroom is, which the bathroom is near the kitchen, and she watches as the Dream Stan is rummaging through the kitchen counter, not the top kitchen counter, the bottom one, where all the cleaning supplies is. So Kate takes out her phone and starts recording, because she's like, okay, this is either nothing, and she's looking for silverware in, like, in the wrong counter, or this is something really huge, and I need to record this for proof. So she's recording secretly, and she watches as the Dream Stan is rummaging through the closet, or not the closet, but the kitchen counter or whatever, and eventually picks out a bunch of different cleaning supplies. And it was very clear, right, which one of the food items was for each person. I think each of them ordered some specialized, let's say Mexican food or something. So like enchiladas. So each person had their own specialized food. And Kate, the subscriber's friend, watches as the dream stand like opens up, let's say like the enchilada, right? That the subscriber got, and like starts pouring these freaking chemicals into it, dude. Starts pouring like drain cleaner, starts pouring like bleach. By the way, disclaimer, obviously, do not do any of this. You will probably die if you eat this stuff. So don't. I hope it's obvious, but whatever. And she pours it all into this stuff and like closes up the enchilada again and like starts to walk away. And at this point, Kate didn't know what she was going to, like, she just started recording because she knew something was up, but she did not expect this. So, sure enough, right, she finishes recording and she quickly, like, walks back into the room and she sits down and is kind of, like, all freaked out because she's like, oh my God. And, you know, the subscriber or the dream stand walks back into the room and sits down like nothing happened. And Kate, like, looks over at the subscriber and says, hey, could I talk to you for a second? And the subscriber's like, sure. So they get up and they leave, and like Kate brings her really far away. And the subscriber's like, what's going on? And she's like, I don't know how to explain this, and then shows the recording, gives context. And at this point, they're just sitting there realizing that one of their friends, quote unquote, is literally trying to poison the subscriber. And why? Well, because the subscriber said that she doesn't like Dream. And that is confirmed in just a second. So sure enough, Kate says, hey, Dream Stand, can you come with me for a second? I got to show you something. And the Dream Stand, Loki doesn't even realize what's going on, kind of like mindlessly walks over. And yeah, so sure enough, the subscriber is waiting there. Kate takes out her phone and shows the video. And the Dream Stand is like, that isn't me. And they're all like, dude, yes, it is. It's like, I can't Photoshop this video in like 3 seconds. Like, what? So sure enough, the Dream Stand's like, fine. I just needed you to know that it wasn't okay to say that Dream sucks. His videos are epic. I love them. And I love him so, so very much. What you did was not okay. And you needed to understand that. And that's when Kate's like, that stuff like could have actually like really, really died. Like she could have gotten really, really sick and maybe even died. And the Dream Stand's like, well, you know what? Maybe that's what she deserved. Let's just say that they were not friends at all after that moment. And if you thought that this Dream Stand was bad, you were not prepared for this one. So anyways, there was a new girl in the subscribers class. This girl just came in and, she didn't have a lot of friends because she was new and everyone else was already friends with each other. It's always very hard to enter in school, especially like a new school if you don't know anyone. It's just genuinely difficult. By the way, plugging the Spotify, it's in the description. If you like listening to these videos like on Spotify, I have a Spotify. Go ahead and check it out there and also rate 5 stars. It does help out. But anyways, right, so sure enough, right, this girl is, there's a new girl. And we're just going to call her the new girl for now. She does turn out to be a pretty crazy Dream Stand, as you'll figure it out. But anyways, the subscriber and her friends, they're not like super cool, popular girls that, oh my God, I can't associate with the new girl because it will lower my popularity and clout in my high school because my popularity in high school really does equate to success later in life, obviously. Like, they're not those type of people. They are just, people who don't care about that as much and are just having a good time in high school and they're friends. So they see this and they're like, you know what? Maybe we should invite her to sit with us. So sure enough, they go over to the Dream Stand who's sitting alone, says, hey, sit with us with lunch or whatever. And they're talking with the girl and she seems pretty chill. She seems pretty cool. Like for no reason at all would they think that this girl is like a complete psychopath, scary person, but she does turn out to be a little weird, as we'll see. But at first, she's super normal. Like, she just no reason at all for anyone to think that she would be weird or anything like that. And, yeah, things are pretty cool. Things are chillin'. Things are big chillin' until they're not, as, things go. Because one day, about 3 weeks in, this girl, like the Dream Stand girl, is sitting with them every single day, the new girl, and it's kind of like she's assimilating into the friend group a little bit. And I think this girl has got a little bit too comfortable. Because the girl's like, do you guys have any, like, the Dream Stand, the new girl says, do you guys have any, like, crazy things you ever think about? Like, do you have any, like, big secrets? And obviously, some of you, like, I bet they do. But but maybe they're not going to tell someone that they met 3 days ago or 3 weeks ago their big secret. So they're all like, I don't know if I do. And one girl's like, yeah, like I really like Troy. And they're like, oh my God, you like Troy? Whatever, I don't know, high school girls talk about, dude. I'm not a high school girl. So something stupid like that wasn't really like that big of a secret. Like if it gets out that you think someone's like attractive, like, oh no, your life's over. Not. Like you're fine. Like who cares? However, the Dream Stand was about to go on to spill some interesting information, to put it lightly. So the Dream Stand's like, yeah, I have a secret too. And they're all like, okay. And this girl was like a little weird, a little quirky, but who cares, right? She was nice enough. That's when this girl, the Dream Stand, goes on and be like, I've had a fantasy for the last year. Guys, if you ever have fantasies, don't tell people about, like, it's fine to have them, like, whatever. Imagine Justin Bieber's like your boyfriend, whatever. I don't care, okay? But just don't go into your fantasies. Don't tell people in extreme, excruciating detail about them, as the Dream Stand is about to do. She's like, yeah, I've had this fantasy. Do you watch Minecraft YouTubers? And immediately they're like, what? No, I do not. And the Dream Stand's like, well, there's one called Dream. He recently did a face reveal, and he's so cute. Yeah. They're all like, okay, fine. Like, whatever, you have a celebrity crush, that's normal. But then she goes into excruciating, painful detail about, and also, I want Dream to bear my children. And all of a sudden, like, the girls at the table are like, okay, that's all I need to hear. I don't need to hear anything else. She's like, yeah, I just want to pump out a bunch of babies with Dream's face on them that are really good at Minecraft. And they're all like, okay, oversharing, you're oversharing right now. I'm good. Okay, guys, let's chill. Let's relax. Okay, relax. No need to go this far. I don't need to know this. I don't need to know this about you. Relax. And she's like, yeah, every single day I think about him. And I have this little journal. And every single day I write out 10-page long fantasies about us growing old together and having a lot of babies. And they're like, stop with the babies. Okay, the girls aren't saying these things, but they're just like super freaking freaked out right now. Like super freaked out. Because this random girl that they're starting to get to know, starting to be friends with, that's what I'm trying to emphasize, starting, is just going on about how she wants to be impregnated by her favorite Minecraft YouTuber. Guys, the stories you send in are the most ridiculous stuff ever. What the hell is this? God damn it. Anyways, and she just keeps going on. And when I kid you not, she goes on for 20 more minutes, just painstaking detail about how she wants to have a lot of babies. Beautiful, beautiful, dream-looking, Minecraft-loving babies. So anyways, by the end of the conversation, every girl there is just like, oh my God. I don't know how that could have been worse. I'm sure maybe if she just like, I don't know, took out a hammer and slammed me in the head with it, but maybe that would have been better. Maybe I would have gotten permanent brain damage where I would have forgotten that moment forever. So maybe it could have been better. Maybe that is the worst possibility ever. Maybe if she just literally took a machete and just chopped my head off, at least my suffering would have ended there and I wouldn't have to think about imagining her and the dream babies and oh my God. Anyways, so yeah, from every single day out from that point on, I think it's because like the Dream Stand released, like she's like, oh, finally someone knows my fantasies, right? Every single day she would tell them about like the new fanfic novel that she wrote the night before. And yeah, let's just say that after a little bit of time, they stopped hanging out. The subscriber and the other girls were like, she seems nice enough, but we just can't handle this anymore. We just can't handle hearing Dream Heatwaves fanfiction part 7,000 every single freaking day at lunch. I want to talk about normal things. God, please, no! Click on the video on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Leave a like on this video right now for a glass of milk, dude. Not even kidding. Leave a like. No, but what's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new story, and just imagine this for a second. It's a Friday night. You're off from school. you're at your friend's house at a sleepover, you're watching a good movie, playing a good video game, and after you go to sleep, you're suddenly awoken at 3 in the morning, strapped to the wall in a satanic circle with a group of masked men chanting "Dream, dream, dream" all around you. Let's just say that that's never happened to me before, but apparently that's happened to someone, and that's today's story. So sit back, relax, leave a like in the video for a glass of milk, and let's just simply jump right into the story. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted today's story Dave. So anyways, this all started in the very beginning of the 8th grade. So Dave and his family moved to a new neighborhood, meaning that Dave was now also going to a new high school. Dave knew no one in the neighborhood, right? And when he got to the 8th grade in the first day, I mean, kids have known each other for years. They all knew each other back in 7th grade and basically forever. So when Dave gets to his school, it's kind of a tough situation just because, he doesn't know anyone, and it's pretty unlikely that he's gonna be able to strike. Oh my God, can I not speak? Anyways, right? So, Dave gets there and it's tough. He doesn't know anyone and he's just kind of chilling by himself. And it's not a great start to the school year. Dave was actually pretty concerned that this is how things were going to end up, i.e. he was just going to be at school all by himself and no one was going to talk to him because he was the new kid. And unfortunately, sometimes stuff just kind of goes like that. However, there's another kid who Dave saw on the second day of school that was, also kind of sitting by himself. And we're going to call this kid Ben. So Dave kind of just decided that, screw it. Like, it's not like people are coming up to me anyways. I might as well go up to him and just see what's up. So it's at lunch, right? And Dave was sitting by himself the day before, and he was going to be sitting by himself this day as well. However, he decides that today instead he's going to go up to Ben. And he goes up, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, man? Like, my name's Dave." And the guy's like, "Hey, like, my name's Ben. How's it going?" Dave's like, "Yeah, it's pretty good." And Dave's like, "So, like, how long you been going to the school?" And Ben's like, well, actually, I just moved to the neighborhood, and this is my second day here." And Dave looks at him with this kind of look of, like, not shock, but like, oh, like intrigue. And Dave's like, "Dude, like, me too. I just moved to the neighborhood, and this is literally my second day as well. Like, that's so crazy." And immediately, Dave and Ben kind of like drop their guard with each other because, I don't know, they kind of immediately have this shared connection of, well, this sucks, but we're in it together, So Dave and Ben immediately start talking about like stuff they do just to try and find some common interests. And after kind of like a few swings and misses, for example, Dave was into baseball and Ben had never watched it before, and Ben was into fishing, and Dave has never even like cast a line before. So after like having a few swings and misses of what they had in common, they eventually came across the topic that they were both really into Minecraft. They were both really sweaty Minecraft players. And so immediately they started talking about, okay, like, what do you like to do? Are you builder, PvP, whatever type thing? And they both realized that they are both Bed Wars sweats. It's those kids when you queue into a Bed Wars game and you just get destroyed immediately because they're clicking like 3,000 clicks per second, definitely with not a macro, and just like basically flies over to your bed, hops you on you, and you just die immediately and you just don't play Bed Wars again because that's not fun. Those are those kids. That is Ben and that is Dave. So they immediately start talking about that, and just so like that night they make plans to like play with each other. So they get each other's Discords, they hop on and they have a few games together. And over the course of the next couple weeks, Dave and Ben kind of just become irreceptible. Dude, I'm making up new words every day, it seems like. Inseparable. Yeah, okay, there we go. They're always with each other. They're kind of each other's only friend at this point. And that's when, Ben's like, "Hey, man, do you want to come over for a sleepover?" And Dave's like, "Dude, yeah, that sounds awesome. Like, I'd love to." And Dave was pretty excited because, look, he's already being invited to a sleepover. And it's only the 3rd week of 8th grade, man. Like, this is big news, man. These are big things. Anyways, Dave, tells his mom. His mom's like, "Oh, that's so nice, honey. I was a little worried that you weren't going to find anyone." And Dave's like, "Me too, Mom, but like, he's really cool. We have a lot of interests in common." And so anyways, the thing is that's really important for later in the story because this story gets insane and crazy and ridiculous really quickly. But I have to give a bit of backstory. A very important detail is they live about 20 to 25 minutes away from each other walking distance, which is about a 5 or 10 minute car ride or whatever. And that's a very, very, very important detail that you guys just need to be aware of, right? So anyways, Dave's mom drops him off and says, all right, well, I'm just like around the corner. So if anything happens, just let me know. Yeah, so anyways, Dave is dropped off and he goes to the door and Ben's mom's like, Dave, I'm so excited that you came. Like, it's so nice to see you, to finally meet you. Ben's been telling me about his new friend at school or whatever. Come on in, come on in. So anyways, Ben comes down the stairs. He's like, hey, what's up, man? Like, come up to my room. And so, Dave goes up there. He has his laptop and he has like his gaming mouse or whatever, and he sets up and they play a few Bed Wars games together while complaining about this chemistry class that they had together. And they're like, oh, Mr. Davenport is so like, he's the worst teacher ever. He's making us memorize all this stuff. Like, this is such a hard class. He's so unfair. Typical kind of like, conversations like that. And he comes down for dinner, and honestly, like, I could go into more details, but I really don't think it's necessary. Just imagine a very solid sleepover. Like, you just do a lot of fun things, you have good convo, it's very comfortable, nothing bad happens yet, but nothing bad happens, and you don't get sacrificed to dream yet. So just imagine a sleepover like that, and that's basically what happened. And I'm just gonna skip ahead to where things get interesting. So anyways, they're deciding where they're going to sleep. And so there's a guest bedroom, but there's also a basement. And the basement had like a TV, and that's where they had like a PlayStation down there. However, there wasn't like Ben had a bed, and then there was also a guest room. So Dave's mom was like, oh, hey, Dave, like, why don't you sleep you sleep in the guest bedroom, and Ben, you can sleep in your bed. And Ben immediately says, no, we're both going to sleep down in the basement, Mom. And she's like, okay, I'll get the blow-up mattresses. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, Connor, like, come on now, man. Like, that's kind of understandable, dude. Like, he just wanted to sleep. He wanted to talk gossip at 2 a.m, man. Like, are you saying that's not okay? Dude, that's not cool, man. Okay, it's fine. Like, I get it. And definitely, like, when I was in 5th and 6th grade, like, I would want to sleep like where my friends were sleeping so we could talk all night about I think this girl really likes me, man. Whatever, right? Now I'm just like, nah, dude, I'm getting a bed. Like, I'm chilling. But anyways, Dave didn't think anything weird of it, but obviously very soon it's going to become very clear why this kid was frantically like making sure that, Dave slept in the basement. So, they go to bed and, Dave is like on his phone a little bit, and then eventually closes his eyes and he goes to sleep. This is where Dave he can't tell if he's dreaming or not, but he hears kind of like rustling around him. He hears kind of walking around him. There's just kind of like noise and chat, just like a little bit of like as if someone's walking and moving and all this kind of stuff. And he kind of feels weird sensations or whatever. But the thing is, Dave doesn't like get up and like check around because he just thinks he's sleeping. He thinks it's just kind of like, and he also was in a sleeping state. So he can like remember this, but it's not as if he was going to act on it because he was kind of sleeping, right? But yeah, that's when he's awoken, right? For some reason, he just kind of like opens his eyes. Maybe he was thirsty, needed a glass of water. Maybe he needed to pee. Maybe he had a sensation that he was about to be sacrificed to dream. I don't really know, man, but one of those 3 reasons, he opens his eyes and he immediately feels this kind of tension on his wrists. And that's when he feels around and he looks to his left and he looks to his right. And his wrists are literally tied up. I'm not even kidding you, dude. Like, his wrists are tied up and he doesn't exactly know what the substance is that's like tying him up, but his wrists were like tied up. He immediately, like, this whole flush of panic comes over him because it is pitch black down there. He looks around for his phone, but, I mean, first of all, 1, he can't find it. Second of all, even if he could find it, it's not like he could, like, do anything about it. So the next thing he immediately thinks is, like, why am I tied up? Like, why are my arms, like, spread apart on both sides, right? His feet weren't tied down, so he tried to, like, move around like that, but since his arms were tied down or whatever, and he was kind of messing around with, like, the thing tied to him, it wasn't, like, super well done, and it also wasn't, like, he thinks it's, like, some kind of, like, cheap rope or something that you could get at, like, a craft store, so he could break out of it, he thinks, given enough time. However, he's in a full state of panic because imagine, right? You were just playing a good game of Minecraft with your friend. You were just, I don't know, watching a good movie, having a good conversation with his mom. You go off to sleep thinking you're going to wake up the next morning, I don't know, maybe greeted by the smell of like pancakes or a good bowl of cereal. Saturday morning cartoons are on. But no, you wake up at 3 in the frickin' morning, sweating in the pitch black, tied up to something that you don't even know, dude. Yeah, that's, I would be a little panicked as well. Yeah, real quick, might as well just do this now. The secret word of the day is dream. So if you made it this far into the video, comment dream down below. I'm going to be I'm on break right now, so I'm going to be trying to heart as many comments as I possibly can, also reply to a few. And also, if you want to support the channel, because I'm getting back into it, and you could actually really help out right now, is just after this or at some point today, sit down and just like binge watch the old videos. Like put on a playlist of my videos and just let them play while you're doing whatever. And if you do this, please let me know in the comments if you're doing this, so I can personally say thank you. I can't get to them all, but I'll do my best. It genuinely helps the channel more than you can even imagine. Anyways, let's get back to the story, as it's getting pretty good right now. Yeah, so anyways, little flashback to Dave. He is sitting there tied up, just in the pitch black. At this point, he's starting to get a better sense of his surroundings, because I'm sure you guys have encountered this before, but when it's super dark, you can't see anything, but eventually your eyes adjust to it and you can kind of see stuff. So Dave is starting to be able to see stuff. He sees his phone on the table at the very end of the room or whatever, and he looks around and he sees the bed where Ben was is just empty. Ben is very clearly up and about, right? And at this point, Dave isn't even like thinking, did Ben do this? Who did this? Well, he is thinking that a little bit, but he's more thinking, what is this, right? And as Dave was thinking that, he sees or he hears like the door open, and he sees this outline of this figure in this like robe type thing, and he's carrying a flashlight and a pair of scissors, dude. At this point, Dave is just like, what the huh? Bro? What? Yeah, so at this point, Dave, he says something. He's like, Ben, is that you? No response. The dude just gets closer with his flashlight. Now his flashlight is pointed directly at Dave's face. And Dave's like blinded by the light as the guy gets closer and closer. Dave is definitely freaking out right now. I mean, bro, if I was at a sleepover and some dude, after being tied up, was approaching me with a flashlight, a pair of scissors, and an ominous sweatshirt. Okay, I don't know what an ominous sweatshirt is, but you know what I mean. Like, no, okay, I definitely draw the line earlier, but the line has been drawn and it has gone beyond that at this point. So Dave says, like, who is it, like, whatever, right? And that's when, you hear the voice of Ben, who turns out is actually a complete freaking psycho weirdo dude, but it wasn't very obvious until right now. He's like, okay, let me actually read from the DMs what I was told. Yeah, this story was submitted to me over on Instagram, so I'm going to try and read out verbatim what Ben was like chanting. He was like, or chanting or saying, or I don't even know how to say it, dude. So anyways, Ben was kind of looking at him, and he was saying, and this is when he has like the hood on or whatever, and he's got the scissors. He's like, the rise of Dream was not an accident. For any mortal to reach such heights of like power and popularity, he must be no mortal. Dream is an entity that we do not understand. And at this point, Dave is like, bro, what, the Minecraft dude? No, dude, you can't be serious right now. He's like, I am serious right now. Dream... I am serious, dude. Don't question it. He's like, you don't understand. At some point, like, you are all going to realize the Dream is no ordinary being. In fact, Dream is the Antichrist. Dave is just like, what the fuck? Dream is the what? Huh? Bro? Like, one second. You're telling me that Dream, Mr. Minecraft himself, is the freaking Antichrist, and for that reason, I am tied up, you have a pair of scissors, and are coming towards me. What? Okay, at this point, Dave realizes that, yeah, this kid's a little bit not all there. Just a little bit. And Dave's like, okay, I might actually be in danger. So he, once again, because he's trying to calm down a little bit, and he's like, focus. And Dave is like, Ben is talking to him about some nonsense right now. And Dave is like, okay, he's feeling around at the ropes that have his wrists tied up. and he kind of like pulls it back and he gets his fist into a ball and he pulls his fist so tightly that they're like now what's like the thing surrounding. And then he starts stretching out his wrists and it's enough to like expand the loop or whatever, because it was done pretty crappily, right? But anyways, he eventually is able to do that. And now he has some space. So he knows that he can escape whenever he wants to. But also, yeah, this Ben kid is looking at him ominously and approaching him with a pair of scissors. Like, all right, let's just not charge right at this kid, because that's a little suspect, to say the least. So anyways, Ben goes on to say, and like, when the world knows that Dream is the Antichrist, only the Antichrist Dream will like save those who like bow down to him now. I found this out on Reddit. And Dave's like, on Reddit, bro? What? And he's like, yes, on Reddit. Yeah, so at this point, Dave's like, all right, I gotta get the frick out of here, right? And Ben's like, wait here. I need to get like the other ingredients for the sacrifice. Like, I read how to do a satanic sacrifice on WikiHow. I'll be right back. So at this point, Dave's like, okay, I can't tell if this kid is freaking trolling or not, but I'm just not going to take the risk, dude. Like, what? Anyway, so the kid goes upstairs. Ben goes upstairs, I should specify, to go get other ingredients for his satanic sacrifice. So at this point, Dave slips out of the 2 knots that were tying him down, runs up, grabs his phone, and here's the thing, right? The basement was below ground, kind of. However, there was a window that was above ground. And so Dave immediately finds a chair, puts the chair over to the window, steps on the chair, gets up, opens the window, and starts to climb out of it. And that's when he hears Ben say, hey, where do you think you're going? He's able to push himself through the window, and Dave gets up and immediately starts sprinting through Ben's lawn, sprinting down the road. And he sees like, it's like, checks his phone. It is 4:35 in the morning right now. It is pitch black out. And he's just sprinting. He's just running and running and running until he gets to like a park that's like nearby. And he just jumps into a bush or just hides behind something. And he legitimately hides there for like 20 minutes just to make sure that Ben is not following him at this point. And once he kind of deems it safe, he gets up, he gets out. It's like 5 in the morning right now. And he kind of like goes on Google Maps and figures out where his exact location was. And he also goes on Snapchat for a second, because Snapchat has a feature where you can share locations with your friends and you can stalk people. And that is when Dave was checking out his Snap Maps and he realized that Ben was no longer in his house, that Ben was in the park. And that's when this wave of dread falls over Dave, because that's when Dave realizes that his Snap Maps have been turned on the whole time. So Dave immediately turns off his Snap Maps and hides back in the bush. After about 10 minutes, he hears someone walking by. And he peeks out of the bush, and sure enough, it is Ben in his like mask, hoodie, whatever type thing. It's what the point of Damascus is, guys. Anyways, so he's just sitting there, he's waiting, and Ben kind of is just like going around the park for like 20 minutes or something. And eventually, because Ben has his Snap Maps on, Dave is in there, he checks on his phone, make sure his ringer's off, make sure his like brightness is on the lowest possible. Eventually, he sees that Ben has officially left the park and is heading back home, at least according to Snap Maps. Maybe that's a false clue or something, who knows? But anyways, at this point, Dave is like, I just got to take the risk. He gets up, he just starts running in the direction of his house. Thankfully, right, Ben does not know, or at least Dave does not believe that Ben knows where his house is. And no, Ben does not know where his house is. That would be pretty crazy if he met him at like, he opens his door and it's Ben standing there with his dream mask and his pair of scissors or whatever, right? But yeah, he runs all the way back home, and it's like 5:30 in the morning right now, and he gets to his front door, and he literally just like, Dave just starts banging on the front door. He just starts like hounding that thing. And after about 10 minutes, his mom like gets to the door, opens it up, because she definitely checked outside to see who it was. Because like, if someone comes in pounding on your door at 3 in the morning, I wouldn't open that thing, dude. Probably not a good idea. I mean, 5 in the morning, whatever. So Dave's mom's like, what on earth is going on? So yeah, Dave explains what exactly was going on. She is like, her face is like pale white by the time he's done explaining it. She's like, oh my God, like, I'm so sorry, buddy. Like, I didn't even know that was I'm so sorry, man. Like, wow. And she brings him inside, tells him, like, all right, you go to sleep right now. Like, if you can, you'll be safe here. Like, I'll watch the door, whatever.
Click on the
And
video
yeah.
on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click it, do it.
Sometimes Gen Z kids think too much of themselves. And today, we have a story of a cringy kid who is convinced he is a quote-unquote Riz god. And spoiler, he has negative game. Put your cringe goggles on and let's just jump right into it.
And we're crying, crying, crying like a wounded animal.
So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Andrew. So anyways, there's a kid in Andrew's class who one day sat down at Andrew's table with his friends, and Andrew didn't know this kid that well, and we're just going to call him the Gen Z kid or the cringy kid. We're just going to call him we're going to call him the Riz God, but I'm going to call him that ironically, because the kid sits down, and he basically is like, like, what's good, boys? Like, what's up? And, like, Andrew doesn't really know this kid, and, Andrew's friend doesn't really know this kid, so they kind of look at him, they're like, what's good, dude? He's like, boys, I don't think you understand, but I've been spending the last couple months studying the art of being a Riz god. You don't understand. I can pick up, like, any woman ever. I'm willing to bet the whole farm on it, bro. And obviously, Andrew kind of looks at his friends, because, like, no disrespect, but, like, this kid definitely did not appear to be, someone who could legitimately pick up anyone. And that's not just necessarily an appearance jab. I mean, he wasn't freaking DiCaprio or anything like that, but he also just, like, the way he held himself, the way he dressed, the aromas coming from him, like, huge combination of stuff that just really didn't imply him to be a quote-unquote Riz god as he was self-proclaiming to be. So Andrew and his friends were seeing a pretty good betting opportunity. They're like, all right, okay, man, like, sure, we'll take the bet. And the kid is like, you guys just messed up right there because you're about to lose some money. Because I'm a Riz god. And they're like, okay, dude, like, sure. What's terms and conditions of the bet? They say, and the kid's like, I will bet you guys $20 that by the end of the week, I will be able to go on a date with anyone that you choose. So first of all, Andrew and his friends were like, okay, because remember, this was 8th grade. $20 is a pretty huge deal. And, like, $20 is $20, don't get me wrong. But I know, especially, like, when I was a kid and there's, like, literally no way for me to make money. Even, like, $1, I was like, dang, dude, I don't know if I can spend $1 on that. So anyways, they were pretty down because they were, like, 95% sure that they were going to win this bet. So they said, okay, sure, dude. Yeah, we'll bet that. And you have to ask out, and they're looking around the lunchroom, right? And they look over at the popular girls table, and there's, like, the pretty popular, like, they're all pretty, they're all popular, whatever, but, like, the prettiest, most popular girl in their grade, we're going to call her Caroline. They say, you have to ask out Caroline. And they kind of looked at the kid thinking that he would kind of have either a little bit of a nervous or a shocked expression on his face because this was definitely quite an ask. But he looked at them with pure confidence, laughed, and was like, hey, you guys really think that's going to stop me? You don't understand because I am actually a Riz god. Fine, we'll make the bet then. So basically what they agreed was that they found some, like, random guy we're going to call Ben that they were both, like, friendly with, and they were both going to give Ben $20, give Ben $20 each and basically say, hey, these are the rules of, like, the game or whatever. This is, like, the bet we're making, just to make sure that the kid doesn't, like, not pull her, which he definitely won't. And then it's like, guys, I'm not giving you the $20 or something like that because, like, I don't know, this kid might do that. So basically Ben was, like, the guy in between, making sure that the money was collected and given out to the right person. So anyways, the Riz god himself explains that he has a guaranteed 3-step process that will have 100% success. And he sits down at the lunch table and he explains it to Andrew and his friends. He says, there's 3 steps to asking out a girl. Number 1, you must show her your strength. You must show her that you are strong and powerful so that she knows that you can protect her from the wolves. And Andrew's like, okay. Step 2, you must show off your wealth. You must show that you have a lot of money so that you can support her and you can buy whatever miniature dog she wants to buy. And Andrew's like, okay, bro. He's like, step 3, and also the final step.
You need to show that you are an alpha Riz god, and to do that, you must show your dominance when asking her out. Andrew's like, okay. Lol. Basically, the more this kid spoke, the more Andrew and his friends realized that they just secured the most guaranteed $20 of their entire life. Like, sure, maybe you work a job and someone says they're going to give you $20, but you're actually more likely to get $20 betting that this kid is not going to be able to pick up any girl ever than getting $20 in a legally binding contract from your employer. It is just that guaranteed at this point. So Andrew and his friends were like, okay, man, well, you got a week to do it, so yeah. So anyways, the kid decides to execute stage 1. So the next day, which is show off his strength, right? So the next day, Andrew is like, happens to see this. He's walking with his friends, and he sees that Caroline is at the end of the hallway talking with her friends by their locker. He also sees that the Riz God himself, the kid, right, is walking with his backpack, but he's walking kind of weird. So that's when he takes out his backpack, and he dumps his backpack out, right? And there's only one thing in his backpack. The one thing in his backpack is a 2.5-pound dumbbell. So I don't know the conversion for the metric folks that watch this, right? But 2.5 pounds is probably the lowest the lightest possible dumbbell that you can find. So just think of on your rack the lightest possible dumbbell. Like it might be even so light that some gyms don't even carry them, right? So that falls out of the kid's bag, and the kid makes a big scene saying, "Oh no, this really heavy weight just fell out of my backpack. It would be really crazy if I had enough strength to pick it up." And because he was yelling so loud, yeah, Caroline and her friends looked over because they were like, "What's this dweeb yelling about, bro? Like, what?" So they look over, and this kid reaches down, and he's like, "Meow," and he like picks it up. And he's like making eye contact with Caroline the whole time. She's like, okay, dude. Like, all right. And he's like, oh, wow, that was so easy for me, even though that weight was so heavy. I doubt anyone else could pick it up. And he puts it in his backpack, and he walks away. But he walks away from Caroline towards Andrew, and he stops by Andrew, and he's like, step 1 complete, Andrew. One more step towards your failure. And for me, I can already think of all the ways that I'm going to be spending your hard-earned $20. And, Andrew's like, all right, dude, like, cool. What? He's like, yes, I showed up. The first of 3 tenets to securing any lady you want. First, show off your strength. And I did. She saw me pick up that really heavy weight. And Andrew's like, dude, no disrespect, but that was 2.5 pounds. Like, I don't know if that convinced her. And he's like, silence, you will see that what I'm doing is a very carefully strategized, step-by-step operation. You will see, Andrew. And he, like, storms off. And Andrew turns to his friend. He's like, dude, I almost feel bad taking $20 from this kid. Because at this point, this isn't even a bet. This is just saying, hey, man, I'm going to take $20 from you. That's just how secured Andrew felt at this point, right? So, yeah, stage 2 of the kid's plan to become the most insane Riz God on planet Earth. Remember, step 2 is to show off his wealth. So here's the thing. The Riz God has already given up his $20 to the person, the middleman who's holding the bet. So he needs to find another way to show off his immense wealth, right? So the kid isn't really that creative, so he decides to do basically the exact same thing he did for the dumbbell, but with something that you'll see in just a second. This was pretty funny, dude. So anyways, same situation the next day. I think Caroline just had a class around that time, and she also just happened to convene with her friends at that time. And I think Andrew just happened to be walking down there at the same time as well because he had a class. For some reason, the exact same setup as the day before happened. Caroline was at the end of the hallway with her friends. Andrew was walking with one of his friends, and the Riz God himself was walking in with another backpack. And this time, his backpack was completely flat. It looked as if it was entirely empty. This was not the case. So once again, the kid is like, oops, and like intentionally spills his backpack onto the ground for a second time. And once again, he's being super like obvious how loud he's being and like very over dramatic to make sure he gets the attention of Caroline. And Caroline looks over, and once again, she's just looking at him like, what, dude? Like, what's going on? And
out of his backpack, right? He throws his backpack on the ground, and out of his backpack floats 2 single $1 bills. And look, you can buy some stuff with $1, right? $1's not that bad. But it also doesn't, if you have $2, right? No one's going to walk by and be like, man, that guy must be in the top 0.00000000001% of income earners. That guy must rival Elon Musk for the amount of wealth and power he has. He has 2 $1 bills? What? Huh? Okay, look. But not the spoiled kid, but the kid, the Riz God himself, he must have been like low on cash because he already put his like only $20 bill to the bet. And so he had $2 bills, and they kind of floated out very like, you know how like when you drop a piece of paper or like a tissue, it kind of floats like downwards so it doesn't drop immediately. So like the 2 like $1 bills are kind of just floating in the air, and the kid's like, oh my God, all my great wealth is all over the place right now. Guys, don't steal from me, even though I'm already super rich and it wouldn't matter, but yeah. And like people are just like staring at him because he's saying this really loud. He's like, oh no, look at all this money that's coming out of my backpack. Oh my God. And like Caroline looks at it. She's like, okay. Like, okay. Like, dude, okay, whatever. He's like, oh my God. Wow. So much money is pouring out of my backpack right now. It's actually kind of crazy right now. It's like, dude, that's a lot of money coming out. It's like $2. Look, no disrespect to $2, bro. Like, I knew that in 8th grade, if like I had $2 in my pocket, I'd feel kind of like a baller. But also, I feel like I'd understand that flexing 2 $1 bills super hard is not going to necessarily get the point across that I will, oh my God, I can buy, oh girlfriend, I can buy you anything because as long as it's under $2 and you don't ask for anything else after that, then I can buy, other than that, I can buy you anything. No, okay. So Caroline sees this, she's like, okay. And the kid like puts the $2 bills back into his backpack, but then he pretends to trip again. So the $2 bills, once again, not a $2 bill, that's kind of sick. The 2 $1 bills, once again, fly out of his backpack. Bro is trying to show it off again. He's trying to rinse and repeat the strategy, but it didn't work the first time. So once again, he's like, oh no. Oh, the money's coming out of my backpack again. And at this point, Caroline and her friends just walk away because they're like, this is weird. And this time, he like quickly grabs it up because he sees that Caroline isn't seeing it anymore. And once again, the Riz God himself starts to walk towards the subscriber, Andrew, and it's like, so, you must be trembling in your boots right now. And Andrew's like, dude, what are you saying? Like, what? And the Riz God's like, oh, because I have successfully completed 2 of the 3 tenets that guarantee that any lady will fall in love with me. And Andrew's like, yeah, dude, I'm trembling in my boots? Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, man. No, you're actually spot on with that. I'm really concerned. Also, if you made it this far into the video, comment $dollar down below. It's not going to be Gen Z down below. You guys start guessing the secret word too soon. And if you want to listen on Spotify, the link's in the pinned comment. And if you're listening on Spotify, make sure to rate the podcast 5 stars. Helps me out in the algorithm on there. So yeah, anyways, it is finally time for the final tenet of getting any woman to fall in love with you 100% accuracy, never, not a scam, no joke, bro. The final tenet. It is finally time. And the Riz God himself is about to perform. So the next day in lunch, he doesn't take the week to ask this girl out, Caroline. He only takes 3 days. Because 1 day for each tenet, right? He is so confident that he is going to succeed that he just doesn't even wait a week. He doesn't even give himself a week to talk to her. He knows for a fact that these 3 tenets will guarantee that he will achieve the woman of his dreams. Obviously. So anyways, the next day, after the whole $2 incident, we'll call it, lunchtime, Andrew's sitting with his friends, Caroline is sitting with her friends, and Andrew is sitting close enough to Caroline that he could hear conversations a little bit. And if he really tried, he could hear exactly what they're saying. He doesn't because, like, who cares, bro? They're probably just talking about stuff, like, whatever. Andrews is talking with his friends. He has no idea that the Riz God himself is about to ask Caroline out in his final 3rd tenet which remember, the final tenet is to prove that you are an alpha whiz god master, right? So whatever the hell that means. I know. It's not going to be good. That's all I know. I don't know what that means. But what I do know is strap in, buckle up, kids. This is going to be bad. And also, take out your pen and paper and start to jot down notes. Here are the notes. Do not do what this kid does. Okay, that's all you need to take notes on. So let's get into it. So Andrew's sitting with his friends, and he sees that the Riz God himself has entered the lunchroom. And the Riz God himself is entering the lunchroom, and he must have learned that he must have learned about the peacock, the bird, right? And basically, the male peacock gets all dressed up in whatever, gets all not dressed up. Okay, the male peacock is very colorful and fancy to attract like the female peacock. So he must have been like, oh, well, I must do the same thing. So bro literally comes in, tie-dye shirt, tie-dye shorts, and somehow got his hands on tie-dye shoes. He must have like, I don't know, bro must have gone to like Riz class from a freaking, I'm actually brain dead. What did I call this? Peacock, dude, I'm so stupid. Live reaction of my brain failing. He must have gone to Riz classes from a freaking peacock, bro. He came in all like tie-dye. Are you serious right now? Like, bro, okay, a tie-dye shirt can work, I guess, but don't come in a tie-dye shirt, shoes, socks, underwear, eyeliner. Just, bro, what? Anyway, so he comes in and he walks super like weird up to her. Like he must have seen some like, this is how alpha males walk. Boom, 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 boom. Like something really stupid like that. So he's like walking up, swinging his arms all strange in his like full tie-dye outfit. And Andrew's mouth drops because he's like, I knew the $20 were secured, but oh my God. Anyway, so he goes up. He looks at Caroline. He's like, Caroline, you will go on a date with me right now. Whole lunchroom goes silent. She's like looking at him. Shocked. Too stunned to move or say anything. And Andrew is like, wait, did he just demand that she go on a... What? Dude just demanded that she goes on a date with him. Are you serious right now, bro? What? And the kid's like, yeah, you heard me right, Caroline. You have no choice in this. You are going on a date with me this weekend. And she's like, no. And the kid's like, what? Bro's like, but I did the 3 tenets. What happened? Okay, I'm actually going to blow up my voice, my friends. He's at this point, the Riz God himself is shocked because he's in his head, he's probably thinking, okay, well, I did tenet 1, I showed off my incredible strength. And I did tenet 2, I showed off my immense wealth. And I did tenet 3 by showing my alpha intentionist by asking her out and saying that she has to go out. What happened? What went wrong? What? I did forget one of the tenets. 1, no, 2, no, 3. No, what? Yeah, so basically he's standing there. Everyone's looking at him. Caroline's looking at him. Andrew's looking at him. They're all just looking at each other. They're going, what's going on right now? Yeah, so sure enough, after saying no, the kid's like, that's very funny, Caroline. I knew you were funny and smart and pretty too. So, no, seriously now. We got on a date this weekend? I mean, you have no choice in it. I'm alpha, so I'm not going to let you have a choice. Caroline's like, what? No. Like, sorry, no disrespect, but no. He's like, what? Okay, I get it. You don't want everyone to know that you're going on a date with me because they'd be so jealous. Okay, and she's like, no, I'm not going on a date with you. I'm so sorry. Like, nope, that's not happening. And the kid's like, I see. Like, the most sad walk back. And he walks by, Andrew's table. And the guy, Ben, who's holding on to the $20, he gives both $20 to Andrew. And Andrew turns to his friends, and they shake their heads. They're like, no. Andrew goes up to the kid, gives him his $20 back. And the Riz God is like, but you wanted $20. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing, man. I'm sorry. And Andrew's like, bro, it's good. Like, don't worry about it. Like, we shouldn't have made you do that. Like, that was kind of messed up. He said, look, I have some friends that, they have girlfriends. They've done pretty successful. If you really want to know what it takes
We'll help you out, man. And, you know, they they don't really, like, become best friends with the quote-unquote Riz God anymore, but he actually does take them up on the offer, and, like, they give him a little bit of advice, like, bro-to-bro advice. Like, first of all, invest in deodorant, man. We will pay you to invest in deodorant, right? And the other thing is, like, look, you gotta talk to women. He's like, what? You gotta talk to women, man. No way. Yeah, okay. But anyways, eventually the kid doesn't become the Riz God, but he becomes less insane, which that's a win for all of us, right?
So Gen Z sometimes thinks that everything is problematic, and this story is no different. As in this story, this Gen Z kid tries to cancel Christmas. This is a pretty crazy one that I know you'll enjoy, so let's just jump right into it. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted today's story James. So anyways, this all happened last year, and this all happened right before Christmas when James was still in school. So it was like early December when this happened, and James had a group of friends, and I don't know, they love playing like Minecraft and Fortnite together, and they'd get together every single weekend. So they decided, in spirit of the holidays, that they were going to do a Secret Santa for each other. And they were discussing the plans to do a Secret Santa when the Gen Z kid, who thought that Christmas was offensive, was sitting around the corner. And he overheard this conversation. So just to set the scene, James and his friends, who I don't know, I'm not going to give them names, I'll just say James's friends. James and his friends were sitting at a lunch table, and the Gen Z kid was sitting with the other standard Twitter users or whatever, bots, whatever you want to call them, right? Sitting at another table. And the Gen Z kid overhears this, that they are going to be doing a Secret Santa for each other. And so the Gen Z kid gets up and walks over to their table. And he looks at them with this angry look. I don't know if you guys know about Nikocado Avocado, but you know that look he gives, like the angry look? The Gen Z kid basically did exactly that same look. And James and his friends, who don't really know the Gen Z kid, kind of like look up at him and kind of just are like, hey, dude, like, what's good, bro? How we doing right now? How's it going, bro? Like, I don't know you. So they're looking at him, and the Gen Z kid is giving that look, that angry Nikocado Avocado look. And, he's like, excuse me. And they're all just looking at him like, yes, bro? Like, what's good, man? He's like, excuse me. Did my ears hear me correctly? And, James and his friends are kind of just like, bro, what? So the Gen Z kid is looking at him, and he's like, I must have heard correctly then. Huh. Did you know that Christmas is offensive to me? They're all just like, bro, what are you saying right now? He's like, I overheard that you want to have Secret Santa, and that will not be happening if I can do something about it. Did you know that Santa represents the patriarchy, and that giving some kids coal while giving other kids presents is obvious discrimination? And they're all just looking at him like, bro, what, huh? Like, just insert all the sound boom, fart effects, whatever, like on TikTok. Just all that stuff is going off in his head. He's just like, what is going on right now? So obviously, James and his friends are confused because they know that Gen Z kid is on Twitter 25 hours a day and he's terminally online, and he thinks that, nothing, he has no problems in his life, so he's got to find problems to make life more interesting, right? But, James and his friends kind of look at each other, and then they look at him, and then they look at each other, and then they look at him, and they're like, okay. They literally just say, okay, because, I don't know about you, dude, but I don't know how I would personally respond to all this. I would probably also respond, okay, bet, word, sounds cool, bro, have a good life, I don't know. And the Gen Z kid says, if you guys think that you're gonna get away with having Secret Santa on school grounds, then you're wrong, And they're all kind of just looking at him like, we just want to give presents. And James literally says, we're just giving presents to each other because we're friends. Is that really that bad? And the Gen Z kid is like, yes, it is. I've already gone over the reasons why Christmas is offensive and I will not let it happen. Bro's not happy, basically. I don't know if he was exactly saying that, but it's the gist of it. It's the gist of it. So James is like, whoa, Lois, this is not my Batman cup. And what, like, why? Why can't we have presents, bro? Like, it can't honestly be that deep. And the Gen Z kid says, you know, you have been warned, mister. You have been warned. And he goes back to sit down at the Twitter table, goes back in his phone, goes back to endlessly scrolling TikTok, turning his brain into brain rot. You love to see it. You already know, right? So James and his friends kind of look at each other because now they're thinking to themselves, okay, are we going to do this or not? Like, now I'm kind of scared because, like, I get it. Gen Z kid isn't going to beat me up, but bro could send the Twitter mob against me. And Twitter is real life, and it really matters. So James and his friends sit there for a second, and James kind of speaks up. He's like, boys, what are we doing right now? Why are we even considering caving to this guy? Because this guy, like, you know, we're not doing anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with giving each other presents in the spirit of the holiday. Like, we don't even need to call it Secret Santa. We just called it that because that's a common phrase that people use. It's simply not a big deal. And so they're all just looking at each other. And, you know, James is like, dude, we can't bend to the whims and needs of everyone, especially if it's not a big deal. He said, this would be ridiculous if we didn't make sure to do Secret Santa on school ground. So basically, James and his friends decided that in spite of what the Gen Z kid was screaming at them, that in fact, because they were on the edge of not doing it at all. Like, it was literally just an idea that James floated like 30 seconds before the Gen Z kid walked over to their table and blew a gasket, right? It was like a second before then. Like they didn't even know if they were going to do it. But ever since the Gen Z kid came over and proclaimed that he was not going to allow it, then, like, dude, they're going to make sure that they do it. Because whenever you tell a kid, especially like parents, whenever you like forbid your kid from something, even if it's a good reason, they're just going to seek it out even more. Like, I know that when I was a kid, for actually quite a while, my parents were like, you cannot watch South Park. You cannot watch a single drop of it. So, like, I never watched full episodes as a kid, but I would literally look up clips online and be like, OMG, this is so crazy. Honestly, kind of just because it was forbidden, right? I know my mom watches all my videos, so yes, that's how I got the inspiration for my Pug animations back in 6th grade, Mom. Now you know. It's not like you didn't know, but now you know again. So yeah, they decided that just because the Gen Z kid told them that they couldn't do it because it was offensive, that nope, that doesn't mean anything, bro. That in fact, they're going to do it even more. So yeah, the next day comes around, and sure enough, James and his friends at lunch come in with presents. And they make sure that they're so obviously presents because they come in and they wrap them up in like standard Christmas wrapping paper. They have a big bow on it, and they make a big announcement to each other like, wow, James, thanks for your Secret Santa present. Wow, Ben, thanks for your present during Secret Santa. I'm enjoying Secret Santa so much, just to make sure that they annoy the Gen Z kid. And is it good to annoy other people? Not generally, but you know what? In this situation, I'm going to give a pass, bro. I'll be real. I'm going to give them a big old pass. Yeah, so the Gen Z kid notices this, and the Gen Z kid's face goes red like a tomato. He is so angry. So the Gen Z kid walks over. He's like, what? What is this? No, I said that this was not okay. You guys were warned, and you did this anyways. Yeah. The Gen Z kid cannot believe himself. Wow, they would do something offensive just despite the Gen Z kid. Oh no. So the Gen Z kid goes back to the table to consult all the other Twitter users, right? All the other Twitter users, the massive brains at the table so they could consult each other. And, oh yes, this is the most powerful echo chamber of all time. We will destroy anything and everything in front of us. So yeah, sure enough, the Gen Z kid goes back to sit down at the table, and they discuss, with their big brains, they discuss what their next move shall be. So for now, James and his friends are peacefully enjoying a wonderful Secret Santa. So guys, the Gen Z kid is coming for revenge. As you guys can probably tell by the title and by this story so far, the Gen Z kid is angry. And like many Gen Z kids, and let me just say that I am a part of the Gen Z generation,
Don't worry, I know a lot of you guys are, and I'm not saying Gen Z, meaning all of you. If you're watching this channel, you're probably pretty cool, so you're not involved in the Gen Z term. But the Gen Z kid, like many other Gen Z kids, believes that they are right, no matter how ridiculous and lack of logic their arguments may have. So the Gen Z kid is about to plot a protest. He is about to protest James and his friends for doing Secret Santa. Let's go. So sure enough, right, James and his friends, they finish up lunch and they have a really good time. Secret Santa, they give each other presents because it's Secret Santa. The secret word of the day is Santa. So if you made it this far into the video, comment Santa down below. And also, if you haven't already, listen on Spotify. It's in the pinned comment down below if you're a Spotify user. And if you're listening right now on Spotify, thank you. And rate the podcast 5 stars. Anyways, so once they were done with their Secret Santa, they went back to their class. So after lunch, James and all their friends had class together. The Gen Z kid was not in class with them. So the Gen Z kid is actually going to make an appearance in this class, but not in the way you think. So James and his friends really think that this whole saga is done because they think to themselves, okay, at this point, what else can the Gen Z kid really do? And like, genuinely, what else can the Gen Z kid do? Haha, you guys are about to see. So they don't even think about this. And oh my God, Diesel Patch is just uploaded. This is Christmas already. Sorry, just got a notification. But anyways, right, so sure enough, these kids are, they go back to class and life is good and whatever, things are good. And they've completely forgotten about the incident with a Gen Z kid. They're sitting in class, probably thinking about the presents that their friends got them, in a really good holiday mood. Things are cheery, life is good. So remember, they're in class right now, and the teacher is teaching. It's a normal day in class, and that's when the door opens, and 3 kids walk in. The Gen Z kid, and then 2 other Twitter users that the Gen Z kid is friends with. And they walk in, and they do the craziest thing ever. So basically, they're holding up signs. They're holding up signs. They must have made in like the last 20 minutes in like the arts and crafts room or something. And it was like, the sign says, cancel James, he supports Christmas. And then the other 2 say cancel, then the other names of the friends, right? So they walk in there and they have a little chant. It's like some really little crappy chant or something. It's like, cancel James, he supports Christmas, and Christmas is offensive. I don't know if that's actually it. That might be way too goofy to be real, but it's definitely something along the lines of just something ridiculous, something that makes no sense. But dude, James and his friends are completely thrown off guard by this because I don't know about you, but if me and my friends decided to do Secret Santa, we probably wouldn't imagine that like 20 minutes later, there would be an active protest in our classroom, bro. Like, I don't know about you, but that's just not something I would expect to happen. So the teacher is just completely thrown off by this. The teacher doesn't know how to handle this. So what the teacher does is the teacher throws out the protesters, but also throws out James and his friends. I think the teacher thinks that they're all friends or something and that they planned a little prank. And obviously this was not a prank, or at least, it wasn't a prank that they all planned together. So now, super awkwardly, the teacher tells all of them to go to the principal's office, and if she hears that they don't all go to the principal's office, they're going to be in real big trouble. So they have to awkwardly walk to the principal's office, half of them carrying signs saying, protest the other one, while James and his friends are just like, I don't know, like one of James's friends was laughing, the other one was kind of freaking out a little bit, because I don't know, he doesn't want to be protest. And James himself is just mostly confused. He's like, why would you spend your time and energy doing this? And then James remembers, oh wait, you spend 7 hours a day on Twitter minimum. That's like a light day of Twitter usage right there. So you know what? Actually, man, I understand. I can see where you're coming from. So eventually they get to the principal's office, and the principal looks at them and just looks at... The principal is just looking at them with this kind of look, because he sees 3 guys, James and his friends, and then Gen Z kid and the 2 Twitter users, and the Gen Z kid and the 2 Twitter users are holding signs saying protest and then the names of the kids next to them because they support Christmas, because they support Secret Santa. Santa gives out coal to some kids, that's offensive, something stupid like that, right?
And the principal already knows that he's about to have some nonsense on his hands, dude. Yeah, so the principal's like, hello, guys. How's it going? And the Twitter user's like, don't say guys, that's offensive. And he's like, okay, everyone. Come on in. Come on in. So, what is going on with you all? I see, and he looks at the Twitter user and Gen Z kid. I see you guys are having a bit of a disagreement over something. And the Gen Z kid says, so I will tell you all about it, and I hope that they get in big, big trouble. And James and his friends are kind of like, bruh. So the Gen Z kid's like, so basically, I was at lunch yesterday, and they were talking about Secret Santa. And if you don't know, Secret Santa is inherently offensive because, and then goes on to list all the really strange reasons about why Christmas must be canceled and all this kind of stuff, right? And so, the principal is kind of looking at this kid like, bro, what? Question mark, question mark, question mark, exclamation point, upside down question mark. And the kid's like, so when they actually decided today to come in to my lunchroom, and the principal's like, our lunchroom, my lunchroom, and do Secret Santa, despite knowing that it is extremely offensive to me, I thought that they needed to be protested immediately, and I hope that you will agree with such a logical statement. And then the Gen Z kid turns to the two Twitter users. Do you guys agree with me? And they both nod their heads like, yes, yes, this person is so right. Gen Z kid is so on point. Facts, facts, snap, snap. Yes, you're so right. You're awesome. You're great. You have never been wrong ever. This is definitely not symptoms of an echo chamber right now. Yes, yes, yes. So the principal turns to James and his friends and kind of looks at them to give a look of like, what's your side to this very strange ordeal? And James and his friends are like, look, we wanted to do Secret Santa. We were talking about doing Secret Santa. And that's when, after like a minute of discussing maybe doing Secret Santa, Gen Z kid over here walks over to our table and starts screaming at us for no reason, saying that like Christmas is offensive and all this kind of stuff, and like Santa like discriminates or whatever, and I don't even know what's going on. So we decided that we were going to do it. Yes, I'll admit, it's like we decided to do it partially because we were trying to do it in spite of the Gen Z kid. Okay, fair. You got me on that. Congratulations. But also, like, we just wanted to give presents to each other because we're friends. I really don't think, I don't think there's an issue there. It's not like this was school sponsored and they could say that school is sponsoring one holiday tradition and not another. This is just a thing we chose to do on our own. And the principal's like, turns to the Gen Z kid and says, okay, so they gave presents to each other. So you did what again? And the Gen Z kid said, I did what anyone would do in the situation. And James, the subscriber, James, just kind of looks at the principal with this look of, this is what we're dealing with, sir. This is what we have to deal with right now. And the Gen Z kid goes on to be like, yes, I did what anyone else would have done in the situation, obviously. And it's just kind of like, the principal's like, elaborate. And the Gen Z kid's like, so me and my friends, points to the two Twitter users, we decided to go real quick to the craft laboratory. And we decided to make these posters real quick just to make sure we got our point across. And we went into the school directory, we found his name, we went into the school system, we figured out what class he had, and the principal's like, what, you did this so quickly, what? He's like, yes, maybe we stalked him beforehand too, whatever, that is totally irrelevant information to the situation right now. That is irrelevant to the situation at hand. But anyways, we found his class, and we went in there, and we were just making our voices heard. Principal, man. Don't you want us to express our feelings? Isn't that what you're always talking about? How we should say what we think? Yeah, so basically what happened was James and his friends were sent back to class, no punishment. The Gen Z kid and the Twitter users, they got a light punishment, no actual, suspension or anything. They had to write the teacher of James's class an apology for disturbing the class, and after that, the principal said he doesn't want to hear any more of this nonsense from this point on from them. So, huge W. So, Gen Z loves to cancel people and things, and this time, not even Santa Claus himself is safe. In today's story time, a Gen Z kid goes above and beyond to cancel Santa at school. This is a pretty crazy one, so let's just jump right into it. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted today's story Kevin. So anyways, every single year at Kevin's school, there is a they hire a mall Santa to come in, and basically what the kids can do is they can go on the mall Santa and tell them the mall Santa what they want, and it's about as effective as an actual mall Santa, right? So what the mall Santa would do is he would write down on a piece of paper what the kids wanted, and if the parents wanted a little help to figure out what to get their kids for Christmas, they could actually go check the list or whatever. So the school was low-key doing it to help the parents figure out exactly what they should get their kids as a little. And also the main point of doing it was just it was a fun activity. Okay, we get to go see Santa, whatever, right? And here's the thing. The Gen Z kid was not happy about this. And I will actually say that if the reason why the Gen Z kid was mad was because, well, the school is sponsoring this celebration that some people celebrate, but they're not doing anything for other celebrations, I would actually kind of understand the Gen Z kid here. And I would be totally for the school having more kind of bringing in stuff from other celebrations as well. I think that'd be pretty cool. However, the Gen Z kid, as most Gen Z kids tend to be, at least the Twitter using ones, so not you guys, because you guys are cool, but the Twitter using ones, they never really cancel things for the right reasons. So basically, the Gen Z kid was big mad at Santa Claus because here's the thing. The Gen Z kid wanted the newest iPhone 13, let's say iPhone 13, right? That's the newest one. He wanted the iPhone 13 Plus. But Santa got him the iPhone 13 last year, so Santa Claus must be canceled because, dude, it is the most ridiculous thing ever. This is a combination of not just a Gen Z kid, but a spoiled brat Gen Z kid. You guys never thought we were going to see one of these combinations, a fusion character on the channel, but today I bring you a masterpiece. So yeah, this all goes down one day when Kevin and his friends were, kind of getting excited to have not mall Santa, but yeah, basically to have mall Santa come to school. It was a fun tradition. Basically, everyone took the second half of the day off. So even if you weren't really a fan of doing the mall Santa thing, dude, it's a free half day. Take the win when you can get the win. Yeah, so basically, even if you didn't like it, dude, it's a free half day. And, I know that at my school, whenever I got a half day, that was the most hype day ever, bro. Yeah, so, beginning of classes, Kevin and his friends were really excited because they knew that, instead of going till 2:30 that day, they only had to go till 11:30. And then after lunch, instead of having hours more of classes, all they had to do was go to the gymnasium, stand in line, and talk to Santa if they wanted to, and then they got to go home early, bro. It was such a nice way to end the week, right? So they were pretty excited, holiday spirit. Everyone was in good cheer except the Gen Z kid. We might even just call him the spoiled Gen Z kid because remember, the reason why that he's getting so angry about Santa Claus being at school is because Santa wronged him last year, right? The funny thing is, too, the Gen Z kid doesn't even give a reason for why Santa Claus should be canceled because the actual reason is so hilarious. Because, dude, I know for a fact that, no one's going to get behind, yeah, we should cancel Santa Claus because he only brought you the iPhone 13, not the iPhone 13 Plus last year. Dude, literally no one's going to get behind you if you do that. And the thing is the Gen Z kid low-key probably knew that as well. So when he and his Twitter buddies, because the Gen Z kid, I don't know if you have those kids at your school, but the Gen Z kid had a little group of Twitter friends basically. And by Twitter friends, I mean people that have been on Twitter 24/7 every single freaking day. Yeah, they basically live on Twitter. They think Twitter is the real world. And they will write, dude, they're going to write a tweet about you, bro. They're going to cancel you on Twitter. No, the horrors. Yeah, so he basically gets a group together, and Kevin is sitting with his boys, and they're excited. They're in second period. They're in history class. Low-key, they're goofing off a little bit in the back of the class. But that's when one of their friends are like, bro, did you hear about, I don't know, I heard this through the grapevine, bro, but I heard some kids are actually going to try and, cancel/protest the Santa who's coming later. And, at this point, Kevin's like, dude, why? Even if they don't like the Santa Claus, bro, Like, it's a free half day. Like, why do you want to cancel getting out of school early and having fun? Like, you're not even forced to stand in line. Kevin's like, I would totally get it if, like, the school was like, you need to stand in line and engage in this specific activity, which happens to, like, relate to one holiday celebration, even if you don't celebrate this holiday. Yeah, that'd be pretty whack, bro. And I totally understand why people would be mad if the school forced them to do it. But it was an optional activity. And also, dude, you have to realize I'm actually kind of for Kevin's school adding maybe more elements of other people's holiday celebrations, bro. Like, I'm totally for that. I think, like, we should definitely share the love when it comes to that and, you know, expand your horizons. But remember, that's not what the Gen Z kid wants. The Gen Z kid simply wants to cancel Santa Claus. And all of his little Twitter bot friends, bro, this is an opportunity to cancel IRL. Of course they're going to take this opportunity. And sure enough, they do. Yeah, so basically what happens is Kevin is, like, talking with his friends in history class, and his friend is like, yeah, I think they're going to, like, protest at lunch or something. And Kevin's like, you don't think that the protest is actually going to, like, cancel the Santa, like, coming, right? Like, that would be ridiculous, bro. And the guy's like, I don't know, like, the school administration has been kind of, really trying to avoid any, like, hot button issues recently. So yeah, basically a couple weeks ago, for context, some parent complained about something, and it was, like, such a minor complaint, like, it really didn't matter. However, the school completely bended. It was a low-key a little bit of a controversy in Kevin's school, because, like, the entire, like, I don't know exact details, as Kevin didn't highlight the details. By the way, submit these stories to my Instagram. It's in the description. DM me there. But basically, Kevin didn't exactly explain what it was, but just imagine something like a minor inconvenience, and the school immediately changed everything they did. So, like, Kevin and his friends were kind of like, whoa, the school has no backbone. They're trying to avoid getting canceled on Twitter right now. So Kevin and his friends were kind of talking for a second, like, wow, I'm actually like, wow, like, I'm a little nervous. Like, this day, which was 100% fire for the entire day, like, was awesome. Like, nothing wrong about this day. I'm low-key getting nervous right now, bro. Like, I'm getting a little bit nervous. So sure enough, let's just skip to lunch. So Kevin and his friends, they go into the lunchroom, and Kevin turns to his friend. He's like, dude, okay, I don't see anyone protesting right now. We might be in the clear. Maybe the Gen Z kid and the Twitter bots, maybe they just decided that, they had better things to do today, right? Maybe they just decided that they had better things to do. And yeah, that, unfortunately, guys, was not the case. So anyways, yeah, the door opens up and you see the Gen Z kid and a bunch of the Twitter bots behind him with signs saying, cancel Santa Claus. And they were walking around chanting. And, like, everyone in the lunchroom was like, bro, I'm just trying to eat right now. Like, can you not have that all in my face? Please? Hello? Please? Like, I'm just trying to eat in peace. I also would love to see Santa Claus today. Like, you don't have to, but why are you taking that away from me? That's all I'm trying to say. Like, dude, I'm just trying to eat right now. Yeah, so sure enough, Kevin and his friends are like, oh, no, this is not going to go well. Because they were kind of hoping that, I don't know, that the Gen Z kid and his Twitter friends were not going to do it because that would just make it easier. And now the thing is, they saw that some staff members were kind of coming together in the corner of the room and they were talking. And, Kevin pointed this out to his friends, and his friends were like, oh no. Because the thing is, they were kind of hoping that if there was a protest, that somehow the faculty wouldn't see it. Because if the faculty saw it, then it was going to get to the administration. And as you guys know, from what I told you that happened a couple weeks ago, Kevin says that they fold under any pressure at all. So yeah, Kevin and his friends are like, oh no, dude, hopefully it's too late. Like, hopefully it's too late for them to cancel the Santa who's coming. Hopefully that still keeps going on. Like, but at this point, we can only hope. And guys, I've been doing this recently and I think it's kind of fun. Multiple choice question, and you must answer down below, and you cannot cheat on this. Comment A if you think, the faculty noticed that some kids were upset, but they decided to continue going on with this traditional, like the celebration that they had, and they just made sure that it was very clear that you could opt out of it and it wasn't required. And they were open to listening to whatever these kids said, and life went on good. Or B, The faculty saw one person complain, got super scared about being canceled on Twitter, and decided to shut down the entire event. And not just shut down the entire event, but keep classes going until the end of the day. Yeah. If you answered A, I wish that was true as well, bro. I truly do. If you answered B, might be a little bit cynical, but unfortunately you are correct. So yeah, what ends up happening is, so Kevin and his friends are sitting in the lunchroom, and they hear on the loudspeaker, like, attention everyone, due to changes in plans, we are just going to let you know that the Santa, like, meet and greet or whatever, I don't know what they call it, right? The Santa whatever event is not going to be happening this year. After this, you will attend classes as usual. We were going to let you out a little bit earlier today, and that will continue, as that will conflict with your parents' schedule. However, to make it fit, we're not going to have afternoon break, and you will actually be able to go to all your classes. That is all. Yeah, so the entire lunchroom was big mad right now, because, like, bro, not only are they not able to see Santa Claus himself, but also now they got to go to classes. There's no more half day. So yeah, instead of like the Gen Z kid and the Twitter bots, instead of like just deciding not to do it, right? Maybe filing a complaint, I don't know, but just deciding to like not protest it and just not attend, because you didn't have to attend this, right? You could have just enjoyed the half day, but no, you decided that instead of enjoying the half day, you need to come in here and just like be like, nah, bro, I'm going to protest this, and now we have a full day of school and education, which sounds super fun or whatever. And yeah, so Kevin and his friends were sitting at the lunch table. Table is the secret word of the day. So if you made it this far into the video, comment table in the comment section down below. Want to let you guys know that these are on Spotify. So if you want to just listen on Spotify, the link is in the pinned comment and the description. And if you're listening on Spotify, please rate 5 stars. I would appreciate it. Let's get back to it. So anyways, Kevin and his friends are just sitting at the lunch table, like mouths wide open. Like, this is the most shocking like turn of events ever. Because they're like, dude, like, we knew that there was a chance that, I don't know, the Santa might have gotten canceled. That sucks. That's the worst, right? But not only that, but now we got to go to classes, bro. And that was like the worst thing. And like the teachers weren't happy either, because the teachers who didn't think that they were going to have to teach now had to like change their whole schedule or whatever. Yeah, low-key, like part of the blame's on the Gen Z kids, but also part of the blame's on the administration. Like, the administration here really should have just been like, yeah, okay, if we're going to fold them to Santa, might as well just give them a half day off, like, I don't know, recess or something. Just come up with something like that. Yeah, so Kevin and his friends, unfortunately, for the rest of the day, had to go to their classes. So what happened was, word got around to the parents pretty quickly, and some of the parents were like, oh, that sucks. But others were like, you know what? Let's have our own, like, Santa meet and greet at the mall or whatever. So anyways, Kevin's mom rented out one of the mall Santas, so kind of like paid him or whatever, like some amount of money to be in a certain place and to kind of like rent out a specific room. And so Kevin, his friends, and some other kids in Kevin's class, that Saturday, because this happened on a Friday, that Saturday, they all went to the mall in their local neighborhood, and they basically recreated what they were going to do at school. Sure, they still lost the half day. Sure, they didn't get like the Santa who was at their school. But you know what? It was a nice kind of gesture or whatever. However, let me just let you know that word got around that Kevin and his friends were doing this off campus in their own free time, on their own, like, on their own time, their own dollar, their own location, not related to school, none of that, right? However, word got out, and it got to the Gen Z kid, and the Gen Z kid was not having it at all. So anyways, let's skip ahead till Monday. So at this point, they've already gone to, like, the mall Santa or whatever that was rented out by Kevin's mom. They had a good time. They're coming back. They're walking to school that Monday. So Kevin and his friends are walking in, they're walking down the hallway, and they literally see a solid wall in front of them of people. So not like super thick, but like the Gen Z kid is standing there, and on each side there are 2 Twitter kids, right? And it's like they're blocking Kevin and his friends from like passing through. And they're like, we need to talk, buddy. And Kevin's like, okay? Because remember, Kevin and his friends weren't big fans of these guys either, right? These kids are the reasons why they lost their half day and the Santa Claus who came to their school. So the Gen Z kid's like, I know what you did this weekend, and I will not stand for it. And Kevin's like, dude, what do you mean? And the Gen Z kids are like, I know that you went behind my back and had your own private secret Santa. I didn't want to, or not secret Santa, your own private, like small Santa. I want to let you know that this is unacceptable behavior and you will get in big trouble for it. So Kevin and his friends kind of realized at this point that they were 100% in the right. Like they knew for a fact that there was no chance, bro. There's literally no chance that they were getting in trouble for this. However, they were, I should clarify this. They knew that in a normal school, that there's no chance they could ever get in trouble for this. However, they were a little nervous because they know that they kind of knew that their school was definitely an administration that was going to fold at the slightest bit of pressure. So even though this is ridiculous, Kevin and his friends were like, oh, wait, are we actually going to get in trouble for this? So yeah, the Gen Z kids, they walk away, and Kevin and his friends are like, okay, I don't think we can get in trouble for this, right? And, Kevin's friend's like, dude, this school's kind of weird, bro. Like, they folded everything. What if they folded this too? So yeah, they go to class, but Kevin and his friends are low-key on edge because, look, they're not like perfect kids. They're not straight A, have never, ever gotten in trouble, right? But they also don't like getting in trouble. No one really likes to get in trouble. I don't know. I mean, maybe one kid or something, but they don't want to be in trouble. They don't want to, make the administration unhappy with them. That's not something they actively want to do. So, they prefer to avoid it. So they're sitting in class. And that's when they overhear on the loudspeaker, like Kevin, Sam, Ben, Trip, whatever, I need you guys to come to the front office, right? So let's just say that's the name of Kevin and his friends, right? So Kevin and his friends look at each other, and they kind of have this like, uh-oh, bro, kind of like this, oh, no. But when Muscle Man would say that in regular show? Kind of that look, right? Of like, oh, no, bro. Like, what's going on now? Like, oh, geez, no. So they all get up, and they walk together, and they're like, they're freaking out a little bit, and Kevin's the one who's trying to calm them down. He's like, guys, there's no way that we can let the principal get us in trouble for something as ridiculous and corny as this. It wasn't on school grounds. It's none of their business, right? It shouldn't be any of their business. So sure enough, they're walking up. They get their story straight, which it's not like they're lying or anything, but they're just repeating the facts, which is like they had their own private event off campus. You can't get us in trouble for that. That's ridiculous. So they head into the principal's office. And sure enough, guess who's in there? Well, obviously, the principal, also Barack Obama, Michael Jordan, and Santa Claus himself. I'm playing with you guys. Anyway, so the principal is there, but also sitting in there is the Gen Z kid and the Twitter bots. They're sitting in there, and they're looking at him, and the Gen Z kid has this smug smirk on their face. And this actually scares Kevin for a second, because Kevin's like, wait, is the Gen Z kids smirking at us because they know that we're going to get in trouble? Like, are we walking into a death sentence right now? Are we walking into an execution right now for us? Like, that actually kind of really shook him up for a second. So the principal sat him down. They're like, hey, Kevin, friends, can you sit down for a second? So they do. And they're all pretty nervous. And it's all pretty tense because they really don't know how this is going to go. It could really go either way. And that's kind of tripping them up right now. So they're all kind of looking at the principal. They're like, sir, what's the problem here? Sorry if you can hear rain in the background. I'm in the middle of a crazy storm. But basically, principal's like, so boys, why do we find ourselves here today? And Kevin's like, that's a great question. I don't know. You guys called me up. And the principal's like, well, boys, I don't know how else to put it, but I was told that, you guys intentionally did an event to mock the Gen Z kid. The Gen Z kid is telling me that, you guys made an event off campus where you literally said the Gen Z kid sucks and they're the worst. And Kevin's like, huh? What, bro? What? And everyone, Trip stands up. He's like, bro, what the what? Huh? And, Kevin's like, dude, I don't know what's going on. Bro, what are you even saying right now? So the principal turns to the Gen Z kid and is like, oh, these guys look really confused. did you tell me the truth? And the Gen Z kid's like, well, I mean, basically I told you the truth. And the principal looks at the Gen Z kid with like the biggest like, bro, look. This is like eyes of like, dude, are you serious right now? He's like, okay, what do you mean by basically the truth? Like, I don't want basically the truth, dude. I want the truth. All right? And the Gen Z kid's like, okay, well, fine. So they basically did it because they had their own mall Santa and they went to go see him. And that's super offensive because they didn't just because despite me getting the other Santa banned at our school. So this is basically an event that says I suck. And that's why I said it. Principal, can you not see where I'm coming from? And the principal just looks at the Gen Z kid. Is just staring at the Gen Z kid. I think something in the principal snapped. And the principal was no longer going to take this nonsense, this stupidity, this garbage from the Gen Z kid anymore. So the principal turns to Kevin and his friends. He's like, boys, you're free to go.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new story. This one is really... This one is really weird, and I mean, I'm sure you've seen the lengths I've gone in my stories, or the depths I've gone of just sheer depravity. But this is something else, man. So I'm gonna ask you guys. No, I'm not gonna ask you guys. I'm gonna plead on my knees that you strap yourselves in for this one, because this is quite a story. Let's just jump right into it. So we're gonna call a subscriber who submitted the story Kate. And let me just preface this by saying, yeah, you can like dream. I don't hate you. You can be a dream stan. Obviously, it's just if you're... You guys understand. I obviously am not saying everyone who enjoys an incredibly popular YouTuber is the worst person ever. Stop being an idiot and believing that, please. Just don't be like this girl. Okay, let's just get right into it. So anyways, we're going to call the subscriber Kate. And Kate has been at the school for a while. She's in high school now. It was sophomore year. This actually happened kind of recently, but I always like mixing up the details when people send me stories so that's not super obvious. You know, it can't get back to them or whatever. But anyways, this was Kate's sophomore year, and she had a really solid group of friends. And there was a new girl, and we're going to call this girl Sarah, right? And Sarah was new to the school, and Kate just knows generally that it is very difficult to be new to a school, right? It's very difficult, especially in high school, where people here probably, since this was like a local high school, that people probably know each other, they live with each other. Sarah recently moved to the neighborhood. She came in sophomore year. It was difficult to make friends. And Kate was very sympathetic to that, right? She's sympathetic. So she was sitting at the table, at the lunch table with her friends, and she realized that, Sarah didn't have anyone to sit with, and or also just in general, didn't have that many friends, right? So she talks to her friends like, hey, do you see that new girl over there? And Kate's friends are like, yeah, like, didn't she come here a couple weeks ago? Didn't she like just move here or something? Kate's like, yeah. And she's like, I just feel kind of bad. I don't know. Like, I just feel like this is probably pretty hard for her. So we should, maybe have her come over to this table. And so, Kate's friends were like, I don't know. Like, what if she's weird? What if she's strange? And Kate's like, come on. Like, if we were in her position, we would have wanted the exact same thing. It's not that big of a deal to ask for. Like, maybe she's cool. All I'm saying is let her come over. Little did they know what she would do, what this girl, Sarah, would do later on. But for now, she seemed like a nice, quiet girl. So Kate walks over, sees Sarah sitting by herself, and Sarah kind of looks up, almost probably expecting like, oh my God, are these the mean girls? Are they going to bully me or whatever? Is this literally going to be like the movie Mean Girls too? Is it going to be exactly like that? Am I just screwed? But no, Kate comes over, looks at Sarah and says, hey, like, I saw you're sitting alone. You can come, like, do you want to come over with us? We got a seat. It's always good to like get to know new people. And, Sarah very, not reluctantly at all, but very hastily was like, yeah, of course, gets up, walks over with Kate. They're talking to each other. Sarah's not the most talkative person, but she isn't like mute. She isn't just like not speaking at all. So, she sits down. Kate's friends are pretty cool. Like, they're not, I know that they were kind of like at the beginning, kind of like, oh, I don't know if I want this girl coming over, but they were chill afterwards, or at least they were kind of like fake nice. Like, there's a lot of like fake nice when it comes to like girls. I'm sorry, I'm generalizing, but I've seen it so often, man.
Like, they're like, oh, how are you doing? You look so good in that dress. And then behind the scenes, she looks like a whore. Anyways, yeah, so, they sit down, they have a good conversation. And the next day, Kate comes back and sits with them. And they have no problem with that because Kate was cool the day before. And after a couple weeks of Kate consistently sitting with them and kind of hanging out with them in between class periods, whatever, right? Sarah, right? Sarah's the new one. Kate's the one who's been friends for a while. Kate pulls aside her friends at one point when Sarah isn't there. It's like, hey, like, I know, like, you all are coming over to my house. Do you think we should invite Sarah? Like, I think that'd be nice. Like, I don't know. I don't know. She seems cool. And I know we haven't known her for a while, but I think these last couple weeks have shown her that, shown us that she's pretty cool. And maybe she'll be like even more fun in an environment that isn't like school related. So the other girls kind of look at each other and they talk for a second. And then one of them's like, yeah, like, why not? What's the worst that could happen? Famous last words, buddy. But anyways, yeah, so they later on, Kate goes up to Sarah and says, hey, what are you doing this weekend? And Sarah was like, oh, nothing. And probably even if Sarah did have something, she was like, nothing, because, she wants to be invited, because that's normally what you do before you ask someone to do something. And Kate's like, hey, well, if it's cool with your parents, well, I'm having, the other girls over, and I'd like you to come over too. It'll be Friday night. I'll give you the address and just let me know. And, Sarah very, happily was like, yeah, no, that sounds great. Like, I'm excited. And it was cool. And life was good. And let's skip ahead to the day. And things were looking pretty good. And she comes over. The parent says, it's all good. Like, you can come. And yeah, she's dropped off by her mom. And she, the first thing that's a little weird is that Sarah comes over with like a suitcase. Bro was packing to live in like Europe for a month when she was really just like coming over for, a night. And that was very strange. You will soon learn why she needed so much space or like so much room to bring stuff over. And yeah, so, the thing is, Kate does give Sarah a bit of like a weird look for a second when she's at the door with a massive suitcase that is ready for, someone who's going to like stay for weeks or live somewhere. Like, oh, I'm moving into a new place. Like, I don't know, man. Like, come on now. And yeah, sure enough, she gets to give it. What am I saying? I'm sorry, my brain just had a malfunction. Anyways, so Sarah brings her stuff upstairs. Kate, helps her bring it up. Drops the suitcase off in the guest room. Kate is like, hey, this is your guest room. You can you'll be staying here. You can also come in my room. Like, some girls will be sleeping on the couch. One or two of them will be sleeping on the floor. I just want to give you the bed. And Sarah's like, I appreciate that. Like, if I change my mind, I'll definitely say something. Which it would be, yeah, it's cool to have a sleepover and all, but bro, if you're given a bed, take the bed. You can have a nice sleep, And the thing is, like, you don't have to really sleep in the room with the other person. Or just like, I understand that like a lot of like in sleepovers, you'll talk about like fun, like gossip or whatever right before bed. Just stay in that room. And then when you actually are going to bed, go to the other room. So whatever, right? I don't know why I went on a tangent about that. Anyways, real quick comment, dream down below if you made it this far into the video. That will be the secret word of the day. And while you're down there, leave a like on the video, or this girl will do the crazy thing that she's about to do to in your house at 3 a.m. Not clickbait. Gone wrong. Gone sexual. You know how it goes. Anyways, leave a like, comment, dream, and let's get back into it. Anyways, yeah, things are pretty normal. And for the rest of the sleepover, things are really normal. And this girl, Sarah, seems to be really normal. She's a little quiet, but that is nothing new. She comes out of her shell a little bit, maybe not as much as Kate might have expected. However, Sarah does come out of her shell, and she's like saying stuff. She's talking about like the boy that she likes. All the other girls are like, ooh, like, woo, oh my God, Johnny. I don't know how girls talk. Probably like that, maybe. I don't know, man. But they have their conversations. Life's good. They watch like the Twilight movies and are like, are you on team Eddie or team the other guy? I never watched the movies. Sorry, guys. Don't be mad. And they're like, oh, my God. Jonathan the Vampire's so hot. Oh, my God. So, yeah, that's probably all that happens in the movie Twilight. I didn't watch it, but all I know is it's probably like that, most likely. Anyways, eventually, they go to sleep. And that's where things start to get, I don't know how to put it, besides a little strange, a tad bit weird. This is where things, no, not a tad bit weird. This is where things go downhill so drastically that probably the hill that this thing went down has a 90-degree angle. These things didn't go downhill. It went down a cliff. And not just like a cliff that's kind of steep. It is a sharp 90-degree angle cliff. It is, if it is a ski trail, it is a triple black diamond. I don't think that's a thing, but if it is, right? And if it's not a thing, it is now. What I'm trying to say is the following is not great for Sarah. So anyways, Kate is asleep. Everyone is asleep. And Kate wakes up because she has to go to the bathroom. She has to go pee. Sarah's room is right next to the bathroom. Kate is walking over to the bathroom. And Sarah made the mistake of not closing the door all the way. So when Kate walks by to go to the bathroom, she hears noises coming from Sarah's room. And she decides to look over. And as she's walking by, she isn't trying to snoop or anything. But she's interested. I don't know. She wants to make sure her friend's okay. Sure, totally, right? And, what ends up happening is, she looks in, and the sight that she sees is not the sight you want to see, okay? It's not exactly what you want to see. Because what what Kate ends up seeing it makes a lot more sense why Sarah brought a massive, big suitcase. Because Sarah was on the bed, full on making out with this big body. Dude, why do I do this to myself? Anyways, she was full on making out with this big body pillow. And on the body pillow is a piece of paper that's printed out from the internet of the mask of Dream's face. And it was a great body pillow. And it was a mask, like, the Dream mask before he did the face reveal or whatever. Which, first of all, guys, just PSA, I'm not going to make a video. I don't really make commentary stuff anymore. Chill out with the comments about his face. He's an above average looking dude. He's not a Greek god, but he's above average, man. Like, dude, I expected him to look a lot worse. I thought people were going to shut up now, but damn, okay, whatever. The jokes are pretty funny, but chill. He's got like 300,000 people. They caught him listening to Radiohead Creep, which isn't actually going to be an issue. If he listens to Radiohead How to Disappear Forever from their album Kid A, then you actually have to worry about him. Creep is I'm going to be one of those snobs and be like, Creep is such a surface level song for the normies to enjoy. And anyways, right? But it is the worst sight that because Kate just stands there and is staring for a second because she doesn't believe what she's seeing, right? And it is probably one of the most confusing, one of the most disturbing, one of the just one of the worst things that Kate has ever seen in her entire life. So at this point, Kate is like, okay, I'm going to pretend as if I saw nothing. Life is going to be so much easier if I just pretend as if I didn't see a thing. So Kate decides to just walk away. But unfortunately, when she takes her first step, she hits a creak in the floorboards. And there's a massive creak. It's as if she just broke through the wood and the entire house fell in half. That's how loud it sounds. And when that happens, what's her name? Sarah immediately gets up, turns around, and just makes eye contact with Kate. And Kate is still staring inside. And they just stare at each other for 30 seconds. And it is the worst, most awkward, most uncomfortable. This is the most uncomfortable thing that they've ever been in. Because Sarah is sitting on the bed, arms still wrapped around the Dream body pillow. Arms still wrapped around the Dream body pillow. What the fuck? Oh my God, bro. Arms are still wrapped around the Dream body pillow, staring into Kate's soul. And Kate is staring back, terrified, petrified, just engulfed with fear, dread, agony, and slightly turned to, I'm just kidding, and just not having a good time. Just not having a good time. And Sarah looks at her with kind of a look of just you caught me. Deer in headlights. And Kate looks at her and says, I saw nothing. And keeps going. Goes to the bathroom, goes back to bed, goes to sleep, wakes up the next day, And Loki thinks that she just had some fever dream, nightmare, hallucinations, took the weirdest mushrooms the day before type, I don't know, experience. Until, Sarah comes up to her, is like, hey, can you just promise me not to tell anyone about the night before? And that's when Kate realizes, oh my God, it was real. Oh my God, it was real. And so sure enough, Kate is like, fine, whatever, sure. I'll do it. She's like, yeah, it's cool. I won't tell anyone. But that's when one of the girls says, yells up and says, Kate, can you come up for a second? Kate's like, okay, word. So Sarah's downstairs. And Kate is like, okay, what's good? Because she walks up the stairs. And all of her friends are like, we need to talk with you. And she's like, oh my God, they figured out about the girl. Here's the thing, though. Kate sees sitting on her bed, the dream body pillow. And they're just like, Kate, what is this? I need you to explain. She's just like, because at this point, Kate's like, shoot. Because they think it's hers, or they're like, is this yours? And the thing is, Kate can't say no, because then they'll be like, okay, well then whose is it? But Kate also knows who it is, but she also doesn't want to expose Sarah, who's, seems nice enough and has this it's just the one weird thing I do, man. Come on now. Am I really the worst person? Because I sit in bed with a dream body pillow. Does that really make me the worst person, man? Yes. But anyways, Kate eventually is like, it's not mine. And they're like, well, whose is it? And she's like, I wasn't supposed to say anything. Kate goes on to explain the story, and all the girls are just looking at her like, oh my God. And Kate's like, come on, dude. She's not that bad. She's really not that bad, man. Come on now. Don't be hard on her. And they're like, dude, that's really weird. That's really weird. Kate's like, no, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, guys. Come on. And they're all like, no, Kate, it is really weird. I don't think you understand. It's really weird. Kate's like, no. Come on, man. Come on. They're like, no. This is it for us. She's like, no, dude. Come on. So anyway, she's like, okay, whatever. Just please tell me that you're just not going to say anything to her. And they're like, yeah, no, we're not going to bring it up. So they all go downstairs and they're at breakfast. And all the other girls besides Kate are just dead silent. And it's like, I think Sarah can kind of tell that something's up. And Kate's like, so, how's it going? Sarah's like, good. Kate's like, anything since we last talked? And Sarah's like, 20 minutes ago? No, I've just been kind of down here. And she's like, okay, cool. Everyone else is dead silent. It is the second most awkward experience of her life. The first one being literally what happened just before that, which wasn't good. Oh yeah, watch me just get double teamed here, which is pretty epic. But anyways, right? Yeah, sure enough, they don't hang out that much afterwards, right? They don't hang out that much afterwards, which is completely crazy, right? It's pretty insane. I don't totally understand why they are not best friends after that moment, but apparently they're not. I guess moral of the story is if you have a realistic dream body pillow that you make out with every single night, please keep that stuff to yourself. Leave a like in the video if you enjoy. No, not if you enjoyed. No one can enjoy this, right? This was not an enjoyable story. Leave a like if you survived, right? That's all I'm asking. It's very easy. It's very simple. Leave a like if you just survived. And if you want to support the channel, watch another video. Bye.
Dude, I was just shaving my pubes and I cut my balls off.
That's tough,
Click on the
man.
video on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click it. Do it. How's it going, everyone? I hope you're having a good day. Today, we have stories of Gen Z girls doing Gen Z moment stuff. I mean, you already know what that's about to be. I know for a fact you'll enjoy this video, so let's sit back, relax, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's just jump right into it. As always, submit these stories to me at either my Twitter or Instagram. Both are Connor Pugs. Both are in the description. And also, watch all these stories on Spotify. You normally get them a couple hours early, too. And let's call the first subscriber who submitted the story Crawford. So anyways, right, Crawford was in a class, and he, there was a class project that they all had to do. And when Crawford walked in one day, he was kind of aware of the project, but he wasn't exactly sure if, is this going to be one of those projects where I have to do this by myself? Is it going to be a really big group project of 3 to 4 people? Or is this going to be one of those group projects
where it's like really, it's you and one other person. And if you get a really bad partner, you're screwed. So anyways, Crawford walks into class, he sits down and he waits for the teacher. And the teacher's like, all right, class, like I just want to let you guys know, we have a pretty big project coming up. It'll be due by the end of the week. And I will be giving you random assigned partners of 2. Crawford in his head's like, oh God, please have mercy, please have mercy. And his teacher was reading out the names, and eventually Crawford heard his name, and he also heard the name of a Gen Z girl. And that's a very, very broad distinction, because Gen Z is literally just a category of what year you were born in. So you might be thinking, what does that even mean, Connor? So when I say Gen Z, I just mean like when you see Gen Z memes on the internet. That's what I'm referring to. And for the rest of this video, I'm just going to call her the Gen Z girl. Just make it nice and easy for both of us. So anyways, Crawford goes over to the Gen Z girl, and she's on her phone, and she's just like on Instagram or Twitter or something and making TikTok. She's not even paying attention to him. Crawford's like, hey, what's up? Like, how's it going? And Gen Z girl's like, hey, goes back at her phone. Crawford's like, yeah, I was wondering if during our free period, like this week, you wanted to meet up and work on this project. So basically at this school, they had free periods. They like everyone at the same time had a free period. It was kind of like recess, but you could do literally whatever you wanted. I mean, within some exceptions, can't do anything crazy, but you know what I mean. And, Crawford was looking at the Gen Z girl and was like, hey, do you want to do this while we're during our free period? The Gen Z girl looks up and says, yeah, that makes sense, sure. Crawford's like, all right, bet, cool. Can I get your Instagram? And the Gen Z girl's like, are you hitting on me? And Crawford's just looking at her like, dude, we're class partners. I am not hitting on you. So he says, no, I just need to contact you. And she's like, that sounds suspicious, but whatever. And she gives him his Instagram. So immediately Crawford knows that he's going to be in for a ride. To say the least, he's about to be in for a ride. And sure enough, Crawford the next day comes around after class. So they're in that class again. And by the end of the class, he goes up to the Gen Z girl who he's partners with and is like, hey, just a reminder, today at, what's it called? A free period. Do you want to like meet up and do this? And the Gen Z girl's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And Crawford, during the free period, gets up, goes to, because they agree that like the place where you do your homework during the free period is they have this kind of like open library. There's a bunch of tables, a bunch of desks, basically a bunch of working space. And if anyone at the school does work during the free period, it is always here. So Crawford goes over, he sits down, and he's just kind of waiting. And he's waiting. And the thing is, they only have 30 minutes for free during the free period, and they only have like one, every single day. So that's not a lot of time. And this project is kind of big. It's kind of big news, right? And it's, Crawford's kind of just sitting there, and 15 minutes go by. So 50% of the time is done. So he sends an Instagram DM being like, hey, are you coming? And it immediately gets seen, and he gets no response. The Gen Z girl has this left Crawford on red, asking if she's going to come. So sure enough, Crawford literally sits there, wasting his entire free period. And 30 minutes go by, the bell rings, and he has to go off to class. So the next day comes around, and he's back in class with the Gen Z girl. And before class, he goes up to her and is like, hey, like, why weren't you in the free period yesterday? And she's like, oh, sorry, I forgot. And Crawford kind of holds his tongue, because he's like, okay, I know she saw my message. Maybe it was like a glitch or something. Maybe she saw it and, epic Bed Wars move, Connor. That was fantastic. Really play the game right there. Anyways, and maybe she kind of ignored it. Maybe, like, whatever, right? That's fine. Next day comes around. Crawford goes to the room, or not the room, but the library during the free period. He waits 10 minutes, and once again, she is not there. So he sends her another text over on Instagram being like, hey, just a reminder, like, I'm in the library for free period. We really got to work on this. So he's like, hey, come on now. It's time for us to go. And once again, he gets aired. So the next day comes around. Remember, it is, I think, Wednesday, and it's due on Friday. So before class again with the Gen Z girl, he goes up to her and is like, hey, why weren't you at, like, study hall or not study hall, but why weren't you in the library during free period yesterday? And once again, she's like, oh, I don't know, I forgot. And this time, Crawford's not going to let this slide. He says, hey, I saw that you read my messages. I saw that you read my message yesterday or 2 days ago and yesterday. And, like, you didn't respond to them. I know that you knew that I was in the library. I can't have you keep airing me like this. This is ridiculous. Like, we need to work on this project. And she's like, geez, relax. I didn't know that you were going to get so salty when I rejected you on Monday, that you're going to, like, blame it all on me. And Crawford is looking at her with this look of just confusion. And that's when he remembers that when he asked for her Instagram for contact reasons, right? Maybe he could ask for her number or Snapchat or something. But even those two are sus. What do you want? Like her Telegram account? Like, what are we asking for? Or the WeChat account? Like, well, where are we, bro? And sure enough, Crawford's like, oh my God. Crawford's like, look, no, I'm not mad about that. And also, I wasn't hitting on you, but that's not what I'm mad about. I'm not even mad. I just want you to show up. I just want you to show up for this. It's a big assignment. I don't want to have to do it all by myself. And, you do get graded on your individual work for this. Worst comes to worst, I just do this all myself. And, that's going to be bad on you. I don't want to do all this by myself. I want to do it with someone. I'm giving you the opportunity. Please, today at free period, I will be in the library. And once again, Robert's the name for the next story. Crawford is sitting in the library, and you know what? This time, he doesn't wait for her. He just immediately gets to work. And about 10 minutes in, he sends a message being like, hey, I'm in the library again. You should really come over. I've already started, but you should still come and help with it. Once again, he goes, she does not show up, but Crawford actually gets some good progress done. And at home, Crawford starts doing some of it for homework. Even though he had other homework to do, he realized that he was 2 days behind because he was just waiting around for her for the last 2 days. So sure enough, that time goes by. And he goes up to her in class on Thursday, the day before before Friday, where they present. They have one more free period left. And he goes up to her and is like, hey, look, we only have one free period left. I'm going to be in the library today. If you want to do anything for the project, I don't know what else to say, but you should come. Remember, we're being graded individually for the work that we do. And the Gen Z girl was literally on TikTok, just looking at renegade TikToks the entire time. And he's like, okay, that's fine. I will be there, and let me know if you choose to show up. Once again, Crawford goes to the library, and you know who isn't there? You know who is not there? The Gen Z girl. So Crawford's like, screw it. I'm going to finish this. Crawford, who's very smart and very efficient at what he does, finishes the entire project. And he gets it all done. It's totally fine. It's totally done. And the presentation is literally just going to be them standing up there and reading out slides or whatever. So it's not as if the Gen Z girl isn't going to know what to do when she goes up there. I don't know. Crawford will just read up all the slides or whatever. So sure enough, that night, Crawford goes back home, and he's just sitting in bed. All of his homework is done. The project due tomorrow is done. He's ready for it. Things are good. And that's when he gets a DM back. This is the first message back he's gotten from the Gen Z girl after being left unseen for 4 times or something. And she says, hey, if you tell the teacher that I didn't do anything, I'm gonna write a Twitter thread about you and get you canceled. And Crawford just he saw the notification for the message, and he looked at it briefly, and he was convinced that he read it wrong. So he went into Instagram. He opened up, and by the way, follow my Instagram, Connor Pugs, in the description. He opened up the DM with the Gen Z girl, and he looked at it. He took a screenshot just in case she unsent it because it was so insane. Then he did a screen recording just to prove that it was real because it was so insane. And he's looking at it, and he just looks at the message, and it truly says, if you don't lie about me doing work, I'm going to write a thread about you on Twitter and get you canceled. And Crawford looks at it and replies, I'm not going to lie to the teacher if prompted. Basically, what Crawford meant by that is, I'm not going to go out of my way to say you didn't do anything, even though I easily could. However, if the teacher asks, I'm going to tell him the truth. I'm not going to lie about it. Because, why would he give her anything, right? He's being generous in the fact that he's not going to say it outright. So the next day is in class. Crawford sits down, and the Gen Z girl comes up to him and says, hey, you finished our project, right? Crawford's like, of course I did. I always get my stuff done on time. Gives her kind of a look. And she's like, so what are we doing? We just go up there and we read out the slides? And Crawford's like, yes, that's all you got to do. Go up there. I have 1 slide for you to read. I'm going to do the other 4. As long as you can read, you'll be okay. The Gen Z girl says, by the way, if the teacher says anything about how the work was done, you can't tell them that I didn't do anything. Crawford's like, and because I will write a Twitter thread on you and get you canceled on Twitter, and you don't want that. Crawford, who barely has an Instagram account and has a YouTube account literally only to watch videos, does not have a Tumblr, does not have a Twitter, does not have a MySpace, does not have Discord, thank God. He's a follower of Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, so that's a W right there. He does not have Discord. That's one of the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not go on Discord. Weird place. And anyways, join our Discord server. Link in description. Not even kidding. And Crawford's just looking at her like, okay. Crawford has no intention of caring about that. So they go up there, and Crawford does his 3 slides great, and the Gen Z girl barely stumbles out the words on the screen. And you know why? Because she didn't know what the words were going to be. She didn't prepare. She had no idea what was coming. She was literally just reading off like the slide. It was terrible. And yeah, you know, they went back down, and, you know, they probably were going to get a good grade. And, you know, the teacher just, you know, sent like basically a very basic, handed out a very basic form. They kind of just said, oh, can you give me some feedback about this project? Can you give me some feedback about this group? How did it go? And one of the questions was the work divided up equally? If not, explain. And Crawford was like, I'm just going to say what happened. And Crawford, very in detail, wrote down everything, right? He basically said, hey, I gave her all these chances. She literally did nothing, and she threatened to, like, expose me online if I didn't. Which sounds insane, and Crawford says, I literally have proof, by the way, if you want it via email. So Crawford was like, screw it, I'm going all out, right? And, you know, a couple days go by, and the grades get posted. And, you know, he gets a DM from the Gen Z girl. Because the grades were posted, Crawford got a 92, because he did well. And the Gen Z girl says, that's it, you're getting exposed. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, comment Gen Z down below. I just want to see how many people made it this far into the video, and I really do appreciate it. I like seeing your names and faces. Also, if you want to support the channel even more than you already are doing, what you can do is just keep on watching videos. Like, that's literally it. Go to my Storytime playlist or just watch more videos in the recommended after this one. It really helps me out. And let me know what you're doing while watching these videos. I am actually interested. Also, these videos are most of the time posted 1 or 2 hours early on Spotify. So if you want to get a little sneak preview, or you just prefer to listen to this on Spotify, it is the first link in the description. Use code ConnorPugs on GamerSupps for 10% off. It helps you, it helps me. If you want to or if you want to submit stories, you can do so to either my Twitter or Instagram. Follow me on those platforms and then send me a DM, and I will add them to the archive. We have a Discord server. It's linked in the description. Leave a like if you haven't already. Turn on notifications or you're not cool, and let's get back to the story. So sure enough, you know, Crawford is, you know, then linked a tweet. And he has to like download, like he has to make a Twitter account, right? And he opens up Twitter, he opens up the link, and it says, why Crawford is a terrible person, a thread, ... And it goes like 1, okay, I don't think it's like he sucks. 2, he smells. 3, he's the worst. 4, he's a walking L. 5, he's the embodiment of an L. 6, L Crawford. It's not like that lame, but it's basically just being like, oh, he's the worst person ever. He was so annoying to me. He was hitting on me and couldn't take no's and answer. It was like the dumbest stuff ever. Unfortunately, like the thing is, right, not unfortunately, fortunately, the Gen Z girl was not smart enough to add the last name of Crawford, which also Crawford could just say it's anyone, right? And the thing is, the Gen Z girl had 3 followers on her account. Follow me on Twitter so that I have more than 3 followers. Let's beat the Gen Z girl, guys. Come on now. Anyways, and the Gen Z girl has like 3 followers. So the thread got 1 like from the Gen Z girl's account. That was the 1 like on the account. So thankfully, Crawford was okay. And the Gen Z girl ended up failing because she didn't do anything. Oh no, not a Twitter thread. No. Okay, we're going to call the subscriber the next story Robert. So anyways, right, Robert was in class, and there was this girl in his class who always was kind of like looking at him and watching him and just like, okay, I made it sound really weird because it was kind of weird. And Robert was a little bit creeped out by the whole thing, but he didn't really think that much of it. He's like, oh, whatever, like, you know, this girl probably just accidentally staring at people because here's the thing. I will be in public spaces. I will space out for minutes at a time thinking about something. Maybe there's just like a little hamster running around in a hamster wheel in my brain. I don't know what's going on. And I kind of like focus back into what's going on, and I realize I've been locking eyes with a person for like 10 minutes. It's so embarrassing, but I do it all the time. And a lot of people do end up doing that, and especially if you're not super focused, that happens all the time. And I'm someone who is very spacey. So Robert always thought that this girl was just, I don't know, it was just like a girl who just like accidentally was staring at him. Little did he know that she had basically Wattpad levels of obsession with this guy. This was frickin' Dream SMP Heat Waves level. Yes, I know about it. I wish I didn't. And for you who know, I'm so sorry as well. Anyways, Robert was like, he didn't know anything about it. But one day, Robert was added to a group chat with everyone else in the class. So Robert just added everyone to his contacts because he was like, I might need to know this later. Like, maybe I'll be assigned a project. Maybe I'll need to hit someone up. There's only like 20 people in his class, and they all said their names in the group chat, and he added it. And we're going to call this girl Kate, right? So anyways, he adds Kate to his contacts. And Robert has a Twitter account to follow, like, sports and Bitcoin. Like, it's a very just, like, dude account, right? He has, like, an egg profile. Oh, okay, it's no longer an egg. It used to be back in the day. If you had a Twitter account without a profile pic, it was like an egg or something. Now it's like a head or something. He had a very basic Twitter account, but I don't know if you know about this feature, but, like, it'll say allow you to access your contacts. So Robert said, yeah, sure, whatever, like maybe like the boys are on Twitter or something. He says access, and he sees an account, and it literally is like, it says like Kate and your contacts, because it says like whose contact it is, and it's like a bunch of random letters and numbers. So like if you wanted to make like a secretive Twitter account, and he looks at it, and it's like a very secretive Twitter account or something. It's just a bunch of random letters and numbers. He clicks into it. He's like, oh, looks like Kate has like a burner account or something, which, why would you use your number on a burner account? Beats me, bro. But anyways, not the point of the video. Sure enough, he clicks into it, and there's one super long thread. So Robert clicks into the thread, and it's literally like the beginning of a fan fiction of Kate and Robert. And he's just like, the thing is, the worst thing too, is she says she uses her name and Robert's name. And yes, it could have been a stand-in name. It could have been anything, right? It could have been literally anyone, but no, it was not. It was too much of a coincidence because she speaks about the class that they're in. She describes Robert with like short black hair, which he has. She described one of the shirts he was wearing like a week ago, and Robert was just like, oh my God. And I'm not going to get into the details of it because YouTube's going to thunderbolt my account, bro, if I get way too into it. It's not like crazy, but it's like, I've definitely typed my name into Wattpad before, and thankfully I found nothing. That is not, I don't want to see any changes with that though. Don't do it. Don't do it, okay? Anyways, so Robert is going through this Twitter thread. The most insane thing he's ever seen. And at the very end of it, it has a link, and it says, more stuff like this here, and it's a Wattpad account. If you don't know, Wattpad is a site where if you go to it, your computer will explode, you'll die instantly, so don't go there. Anyways, he clicks on the link, and it brings to an account. It is Kate's personal account, and there's a book on there. And by a book, I mean 50 chapters. And by 50 chapters, I mean 50 chapters. 50 chapters of Robert and Kate fan fiction. Also, I think I'm calling someone not legit in the chat for Bed Wars. I don't know. His hits were kind of weird, but also it's high pixel, so I think it was actually legit. Anyways, Robert's looking at this. He's like, oh my God. And he starts reading through it. It is legitimately 50 chapters of a book. It is like War and Peace level novel of Kate X Robert fan fiction. And he's just like, why? What did I do to deserve this? Why am I alive? Just to suffer. So he's going through this. He's like, this is the most insane stuff he's ever seen. He gets the boys on call, goes on like, I don't know, Discord or FaceTime or something, gets them all on, links them this. They all start like cackling behind the scenes like, yo, this is freaking crazy. Like, bro, this is the most insane thing I've ever had. Someone's like, yo, are you gonna hit? Because I know she definitely hit. And Robert's like, shut up, this is weird. And one of the guys was like, all right, This is a very delicate situation. And someone's like, lol. He's like, shut up. It's a delicate situation. Robert, this is very weird. Like, this is an obsession. There's no way around it. 50 chapters, god damn. And Robert's like, shut up. I know. He's like, okay, I'm sorry. I had to do it. I have to do it to you. And he's like, 50 chapters. That's a lot of writing. You know, this girl probably gets F's in English, but can write like War and Peace level novels about you. So I don't know what to say about that, but it is what it is. And Robert's like, hey, do you think I could like get out of that class? And Robert's, you know, his friends are like, I don't know, it's pretty late in the year. And Robert's like, well, here's the thing. I know that my teacher, Miss Davenport, in that class, you know, she has another class later in the day, and it's during one of my frees. I think I could switch classes. So sure enough, Robert sends a teacher saying, hey, I just want to, like, is it possible for me to switch into one of your later classes? I know it's not, like, easy with the paperwork, but there's something that's gone down that makes me feel very uncomfortable in the class you're in right now. So Miss Davenport gets back to him and says, hey, Robert, I think that can, like, if you really do have if you have a free, which, you know, he said he did, I think I can make that work. Basically, both my classes are at the same point. The other class is a little bit behind, so you actually would be a little ahead if I switched you. I can have this done as soon as Tuesday. Not as soon as Monday, as soon as Tuesday. You know what that means? That means Robert went, and for Monday, Robert was in class that day. And when Robert, he's like, okay, this is my last day in this class. He sits down in the very front of the room. And, like, there's some of his boys in that class. And they're just like, he's like, dude, shut up. And, like, the girl, like Kate, was sitting in the very back. And Robert turned around very briefly, and he locked eye contact with Kate. And he quickly turned around, because normally he wouldn't care. But at this point, he's found the Wattpad. He's found the Wattpad. Run, guys, run. No, he's read what she's written about him. He's like, I gotta get out of here, man. So sure enough, you know, Robert's like, okay, this is weird. I gotta escape. And he's just sitting there. He's just very awkwardly sitting. And he's just waiting. He's honestly just waiting for the class to be done. And he kind of like looks over and he sees one of his friends walking up to Kate. And he's like, what are you doing? And he looks, and the friend is like over at Kate, whispers something in her ear, points to Robert, and then she smiles and like covers her smile. And Robert is like, I'm gonna beat your ass if you said anything that isn't true. So basically, the friend comes back up to the front, whispers in Robert's ear, like, yo, I just said that you have a big crush on her. And Robert's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why? What, do you hate me? And his friend's like, lol, trolling moment. And Robert's like, I gotta find new friends. So like the bell rings and Kate gets up and starts walking quickly to Robert. And Robert's like, oh, hell no, bro, I'm getting out of here. Robert gets up and quickly, this power walks out of the class and literally power walks into the boys' bathroom. He just sits there for like 10 minutes. He knows he's going to be a little late to his next class, but he just can't risk it. The next day, he's moved. His class has moved, right? Now he's in a different section. And from that point on, he really doesn't see Kate ever again. He sees her occasionally in the hallways, but it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, kind of, it's weird, but, you know, his friends say that, you know, Kate, like, kept on updating her Wattpad or Twitter account or whatever for, like, a couple weeks, but after about a couple weeks of Robert not being in her class, she kind of quit the account and the obsession stopped. But, yeah, that was Robert's experience with a Gen Z girl. Final story, we're going to call the subscriber Merritt. So Merritt was on the soccer team, and one Friday evening, right after practice, right, Merritt just wanted to continue, and some of his friends wanted to continue practicing for the game they had tomorrow. They didn't want to wear themselves out, but there was just a few, like, maneuvers, a few things that they didn't feel like they got done in practice that they just wanted to get done later. So they're on the field, they're on this field. It's not necessarily a soccer field, but it's a field adjacent to it at least. And they're practicing some specific soccer maneuvers. I haven't played soccer in a second, so I'm not even going to pretend to know, like I know what this would be. And that's when these two girls come up. And these two girls, we're just going to call them the Gen Z twins. They're not actually twins, but that's what we're going to call them. And one of the Gen Z twins is like, we need this field. And, you know, Merritt grabs, like, the soccer ball and is like, what? And the Gen Z girl's like, yeah, we need this field. And Merritt's like, yo, we're playing some soccer on it. Like, can you have it later? And she's like, well, no. And we actually need it right now do you see that? And the Gen Z girl points to the sun. Merritt's like, yeah, that's the sun. It's epic. Keeps us warm. She's like, no, it is golden hour, Merritt. And Merritt's like, yo, sorry. Like, we're practicing here. And she's like, I want to take pictures for my Instagram in the golden hour, Merritt. Merritt's like, whoa, chill. Like, you don't need the attitude. Look, there's a lot of places to take photos, right? And the Gen Z girl's like, and there's a lot of places to play soccer, Merritt. This is just perfect for my photo. And Merritt decides to counter, hey, this is perfect for my practice. And they're kind of facing off against each other. And the Gen Z girl says, Merritt, I know your girlfriend, Stacy. And Merritt's like, yeah, what about her? The Gen Z girl's like, I'm going to tell Stacy that you hit on me and that you wanted to make out with me, but I said no. And it's going to break the two of you up. And Merritt's like, whoa, like you do that? Merritt takes out his phone, literally hits like record on the voice memos. He's like, wait. Just tell me again, what would you do? Like, I don't think I heard you right the first time. She says, I am going to tell your girlfriend, Stacy, that you wanted to hit on me and that you wanted to kiss me, but I said no, and I'm going to break you two up if you don't let me take photos in the golden hour, Merritt. I need it for the gram. You don't understand. Merritt literally hits end on the voice recording, turns up the volume, and plays the thing back. And she's like, you can't record me without my permission. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to take you to court, Merritt. You don't even understand what power I have. I got 200 followers on my Instagram. How many do you have? Merritt's like, I don't know, like 40. And she's like, oh my God, he only has 40. Lol. Okay, I don't think she says lol. I don't think she actually says that. I really don't think she says that. I just added that. Anyways, Merritt's like, dude, like we're not going to move. And sure enough, this entire conversation, the sun was slowly slipping away more and more, so the golden hour was quickly fleeting. The girl's like, Merritt, let me take photos here. And Merritt's like, you know what? I actually was considering it before you threatened to break me and my girlfriend up. Like, before that, I was actually considering to be like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, maybe I'm being annoying here. Maybe you only need it for a couple minutes. And she's like, Merritt, please, this golden hour's going away, Merritt. Merritt, you make me sad. The golden hour, Merritt's going away. It's slipping away, Merritt. Come on, Merritt. Come on, Merritt. Come on, Merritt. Come on. It's the golden hour. It's slipping Merritt. And Merritt's literally standing there. He's like, tough. I'm going to keep playing. So Merritt goes back to playing with his friends. And, the girl decides to be like, you know what? We're just going to do it anyways. So the two Gen Z girls, they run up to where Merritt and his friends are, and they both push like Merritt and his friends to the side. They both go falling down. And the Gen Z girl's like, quickly. And the other girl like takes like her phone out and is about to take a photo when a soccer ball hits her hand and the phone goes flying. The phone hits the grass so it doesn't crack or anything, but immediately they're like, no! And as soon as they say no, the sun slips behind and the golden hour is gone. Now any photos will be terrible. And the Gen Z girls are like, I hope you're happy. Now we can't have photos for the gram. They both walk away. And Merritt and his friends are like, well, that's tough. I really don't know what else to say. So Merritt the next day at his soccer game, he wins, by the way. His team wins. Afterwards, his girlfriend Stacy comes up to him. It's like, Merritt, like, that was so good. You did such a good job. I'm so proud of you. And Merritt's like, thank you. Oh, by the way, do you know the Gen Z girl? And says this is her actual name. She's like, yeah, we kind of became friends recently. And Merritt's like, well, so I might have a little bit of information that, I don't know, you might want to change your mind on being friends with her. And Stacy's like, what do you mean? And then Merritt goes on to tell her exactly what I just told you.
Click on the video
plus
on
the
screen
voice
right
recording.
now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click it. Do it.
How's it going, everyone? I hope you're having a great day, because today we have a story of probably the craziest dream stand to ever exist. So sit back, relax, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and let's just jump right into it. I'm going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Sam. So anyways, this all happened when Sam was in 8th grade, which was 6 months ago. Also, real quick, you can like Dream, you can even be a Dream stan. I personally don't care. We're cool either way. As long as you don't act like this girl, you're totally cool. That's all I'm going to say before I hop into it. So anyways, Sam was in 8th grade about 6 months ago. Well, this story happened around 6 months ago. So he was just, in his, lab class or his science class or whatever you want to call it. And normally the teacher let them choose lab partners. But for some reason, one day, the teacher came in and said, hey, I'm actually mixing it up. Like, I'm going to give you randomized lab partners. You guys have been choosing the same people every single day. And everyone's like, what? No, but it's my friend. And he's like, tough. You're going to get a random lab partner and you're going to like it. So anyways, right, Sam was randomized and he got a random person that he didn't really know. Sam normally gravitated towards his one real good friend in the class. But, he's like, all right, well, this is someone new. So anyways, Sam was assigned to this person for, a lab partner. And, they went up there, or Sam went over there and said, hi, my name's Sam. And the other person looked up and said, hey, my name's Sarah. And Sam and Sarah, immediately got to work on the lab, and they actually hit it off pretty well. Like, things were pretty good. Life was pretty great. It's not necessarily they had a lot in common right away, but they just had really good chemistry, and it was pretty apparent. And by the end of it, Sam's like, hey, I actually had a lot of fun today. We should hang out more, and Sarah agreed. It was always kind of throughout the story, it's not super clear to me if they ever had a kind of a underlying romantic theme or if it was truly just a platonic relationship. I have plenty of friendships with women, and it's just 100% platonic. Those people lie on the internet and say that those can never exist. They can. However, I'm not sure if in this case Sam kind of had a little thing for Sarah or not, but throughout the story, they do remain friends till the very end, and it's insane, but you don't want to miss that. Anyway, so Sam and Sarah, outside of this lab class, would start to hang out a little bit. They still had a free period or whatever type recess deal. At lunch, Sam would normally sit with his boys, but, he would sometimes be like, hey, I'm going to go hang out with some other friends, and they'd be like, what? And then they see him go sit with a girl, and they're like, ooh, you're sitting with a girl. Typical behavior, even from my friends, and we're 19. It doesn't get better, guys, all I'm saying. But anyways, right, so Sam and Sarah, they started to talk more, and they became pretty close friends. And, it came to the point where Sarah actually invited Sam over to her house for a sleepover. And, I will say, a boy-girl sleepover, I have been to one of them. They're pretty cool. But anyways, Sam was like, oh my, really? And Sarah's like, yeah, I mean, we're buddies. I have my other buddies over all the time. Doesn't really matter, And, Sarah's like, well, my mom's cool with it. Talk to your parents. So anyways, Sam went back home and, he hit up he didn't hit up his parents. His parents were there. Sam went back home and he kind of went up to his mom's like, hey, Mom, I got a question for you. And his mom's like, yeah, what's up? He's like, so I'm friends with this girl, and I really am just friends with her. And Sam's mom's like, yes. She already knew that something was coming up. And he's like, well, so basically what happened is that, she's invited me over to her house for a sleepover, which is, I go to sleepovers all the time. And Sam's mom's like, Sam? And Sam's like, no, Mom, I swear, I really don't have any feelings for her. She doesn't have any feelings for me. It's just normal. I know it's weird because it's boys and girls, but Mom, boys and girls can be friends too. And Sam's mom's like, well, okay, but I trust you on this one. Because, Sam's in 8th grade. Hey, man. And, Sam's like, thank you, Mom. That's great. So the next day, Sam gets into school, and he kind of runs up to Sarah. He's like, Sarah, I know I can actually do this. I can come over to your house. And she's like, oh, that's awesome. That's great. I'm so excited. Do you want to do this weekend? He's like, yeah, no, I don't have anything this weekend. So they plan it for the weekend. Sam's going to go over to Sarah's house. Life is good. Well, life wasn't really good, but Sam didn't see that coming. But the only warning sign he got was that, Sam was talking to one of his boys at the lunch table. He decided not to hang out with Sarah that day just because, he had to hang out with the boys. You got to split your time. And he was saying oh, it's really cool. Sarah and I are actually pretty good friends. I'm actually going over to her house. And one of the boys was like, wait, Sarah, Sarah, and then says the last name. And Sam's like, yeah. He's like, oh, dude. And Sam's like, dude, what? He's like, I don't really know. I can't tell you anything specific, but I've just heard things. And Sam's like, bro, What do you mean you've heard things? What are the things? And Sam's friend's like, I don't know. I've just heard that she's like really like this isn't meant to be offensive, but she's just like she's just really, really weird and something happened, but I didn't actually know. And Sam's like, bro, you can't just say that. You can't just say that and then not actually have an answer. And Sam's friend's like, I know, I shouldn't have even brought it up. I don't know. Maybe you want to do some digging. Maybe you don't. I don't think it's just like she's weird. Like people don't like her weird. I think something like, I don't know. There's something there. I don't know what it is. But bro, just be careful. That's all I'm saying. And Sam was kind of like, all right, well, obviously my friend's just being a hater and is jealous because I don't really spend as much time with them anymore because I have more than one friend. You know what? He can't deal with the fact that I have more than one friend. So you know what? That's tough for him. And, you know, sure enough, Sam did not heed his friend's warning and kind of paid the price for it later on. And this is probably one of the craziest stories I've ever told in the channel or I've ever received. By the way, submit your own stories to me on Instagram, Connor Pugs, or Discord. Both my links are in the description of this video if you want to submit the stories. Anyways, so Sam packs his bag on that Friday and is super excited, and, you know, he's ready for the next day. You know, Saturday comes around, and he sends a text to Sarah being like, hey, I'm excited for tonight. She's like, yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff planned. And so anyways, you know, Sam's mom is driving him over, and Sam's mom's like, all right, well, you have my number, and if at any point you want to leave, just let me know. Like, I will bring you back. Don't worry about it. And Sam's like, Mom, it's going to be fine. Stop worrying, Mom. God, Mom, why are you so... God damn it, Mom. No, okay. But he was like, oh, like, Mom, I'm fine. Like, don't worry about me like that. Yeah, well, his mom had an intuition, and that all of his friends apparently did too, but Sam just couldn't see. So anyways, Sam and his mom pull up to Sarah's house, and the first kind of red flag was that there was no cars in the driveway. And Sam's mom was like, wait, her parents aren't home? And Sam's like, And Sam's mom's like, all right, I'm coming with you, and if their parents aren't going to be here, well, then I don't think I can let you stay. Sam's like, oh, jeez. So they walk up, right? And, you know, Sam's mom rings the doorbell, and Sarah greets them at the door. Sam's mom's like, hi, Sarah. I'm Sam's mom. I'm so excited to see you. I'm so glad that my son and you are good friends. Are your parents home? And Sarah's like, no, but they'll be back really soon. And Sam's mom's like, how soon do you think? Sarah's like, yeah, I don't know, like 30, 45 minutes. They just went out to get something. Sorry, I think they're just running a little late. They sent me a text. And, you know, Sam's mom's like, okay, I don't think I'm going to, okay, that's fine. Sam, you have my number if you need anything. Sarah, Sam can give you my number if you need to contact me or anything. Bye, guys. And, you know, Sam's mom walks away. Sam's mom should not have walked away, because things are about to get really crazy. And I keep hyping it up, but trust me, it is worth it. So anyways, you know, Sam, you know, walks in, and he's so excited, right? This is Sarah, this is his friend, this is the first mixed-gender sleepover, which he hasn't been to one before, and he's really happy about that. And, you know, Sarah seems pretty excited too, but there's just this weird energy that Sam kind of is, like, acknowledging but also ignoring, because he just thinks it's his nerves. He just thinks he's, like, being, like, a little freaked out about his first, like, oh, my God, sleepover with a girl, whatever, right? But no, it was something else, and he should have paid attention to it. And, you know, Sarah's like, oh, like, do you need to charge your phone? And Sam's like, actually, I do. And his phone was on, like, 20% or something. So she's like, oh, I got a charger, and takes his phone and charges it in another room. This was mistake number like 15, but whatever. This was his next mistake. He's now lost access to his phone. So anyways, right, you know, so Sam and Sarah, they walk over, and Sarah's like, welcome to my room. She opens it up, and it's your quintessential, like, very stereotypical, like, girl room. There's, like, all this, like, I don't know what a stereotypical girl room. It just doesn't smell like crap like all boys' rooms do. You know what? That's a compliment, girls. Don't get mad at me in the comment section. Boys, don't stop coping. Your rooms smell bad. I know, because I am one. Anyways, though, so they sit down, they start talking about stuff. They're actually having a really good time, because they're both, like, watching, I don't know, freaking Stranger Things. And this is before the new season came out, so they're kind of, like, theorizing about what's going to happen next. And, you know, they're really having a good time and all that kind of stuff. And that's when Sarah's like, oh, I'm going to, like, go to the I have to, like, go downstairs and go to the bathroom. I'll be back in, like, 5 minutes. Do you mind just, like, chilling here? Sam's like, yeah, no, that's fine. So Sarah leaves her room. And Sam, he doesn't like look for her diary or anything, but he's looking around, he's bored. His phone's charging. So he goes around and he sees a closet. And the closet is only like open like a jar, like it's only half open, right? Or it's only open a little bit. So he goes over and it seems to be like overflowing. And one thing Sam also noticed before he came into the room was there's like a lot of weird empty spots on the wall. You know when you have a poster on the wall and it's like it leaves like a sun mark, like the sun's been on it, that like everything around it becomes like lighter, and then when you remove the poster it becomes darker. And also when you have like tape or whatever, it leaves a little like, it kind of peels away the paint where it was. There was a lot of weird things on the wall that just seemed like something was there that was recently removed. But Sam didn't think anything of it really at the time. But when Sam got to the closet, he opened up the closet a little bit and he saw a massive pile of like Dream S&P, all that type of stuff, a big pile of like merchandise and stuff. And that doesn't really matter. You can have a thing, but the thing that like really caught his eye was this big bulletin board type thing. And there was a very big like bulletin board shaped hole in her wall. It was not hole, but like a part that like felt like something was there before. And that started to weird him out. And he like looked at it, and on the top of the bulletin board, it said, "The quest to find Dream, aka Clay." And Sam was like, and down below it had all, there's like in the horror movies or like the guy goes crazy trying to figure something out. He has all the strings attaching the stuff. It was pamphlets. It was flyers. It was everything like trying to figure out Dream and who he actually is and what he actually looks like. And as he's reading it, it says, conclusion, like Dream, and then he finds like a little book, right? A little book next to it. All these flyers and posters trying to find who Dream really is. By the way, if you don't know, Dream is a very popular Minecraft YouTuber. And anyways, he picks it up and he starts reading through it. And a little bit through, he gets to a page where it says, Dream's name is not Clay. He made that up, right? And he's like, I figured this out through my deductive reasoning. I know, like, and then going ahead a little bit more, Dream's hair is blonde, like looking like this. He doesn't actually live in Florida. He lives where I live. I have come to this conclusion. Does some more like page flipping, and that's where Sam's heart starts to drop. And it says, suspect for Dream, Sam, and then his last name. Hair, check. Voice, check. Like, I believe that this is actually him. I'll have to do some more research. And Sam keeps on flipping the pages, and he starts to get really freaked out because it is insanely detailed pages, page after page after page of details about him and like Sarah's conspiracy theories that he is actually Dream. And that's when he gets to the last page that says like Operation Interrogation. And he reads it and it spells out in plain English that Sarah is going to invite him, befriend him even closer, and then invite him over for a sleepover to interrogate him to prove that he is actually Dream. And when Sam has this book open, he hears a voice behind him saying, "So you found the book." And he turns around and it's Sarah. Real quick, comment Dream if you made it this far into the video. I just want to see how many people made it this far. I like seeing the names and faces. And I will try and heart a bunch of comments that say the secret word of the day, which is Dream. And also, if you want to support the channel even more than you've already done by watching this far and giving me the good watch time, which boosts the channel, all you got to do is binge watch these videos in one sitting, meaning sit down and either do something or try to go to sleep or draw or play video games and watch a bunch of videos in a row. And let me know in the comment section down below what you're doing like while you're watching my videos or how many videos you binge watched. I'll try and heart the comments, reply to them saying thank you, and even shout out random people who tell me how they support the channel, like this person on screen. Thank you. So shout out to this person as well as everyone else who's been supporting the channel in the last couple of weeks and forever really. And let's get back to the story. So at this point, right, Sam is petrified. He's at the house alone. His phone is in another room. It's probably not even charging. She's probably just taking it, like any source of communication. It's just him, and Sarah. And Sarah thinks that he is the Minecraft YouTuber Dream because he's blonde, he sounds like him, and she's gone crazy, right? And at this point, she wants to interrogate him to prove that he is actually Dream. So Sam is like, Haha, yeah, I was just looking around. No, like, book? What? I just see you really like the Dream SMP. That's cool. I don't really watch Minecraft that much. She said, I know you'd say that. I know you'd try and back out of the truth. And Sam's like, what do you mean? And she's like, you saw the book, didn't you? And Sam's like, what book? And Sarah's like, oh, it's just a little book I have of, like, my favorite Dream characters. And Sam's like, and Sarah's like, oh, follow me, follow me. Sarah comes over, grabs his hand, and leads him downstairs. Leads him past the room where his phone was supposedly charging. His phone was gone. It wasn't charging, by the way. Sam's like, oh, where's my phone? She's like, oh, it's charging in a different room. Sam's like, Sarah continues to lead him downstairs and then kind of to this basement area. And Sarah's like, look, come on. I want to show you something. Drags him basically down the stairs to the basement, brings him down there, and it's like, okay, so, like, there's a really cool game over there, and I want you to go over there and get it set up. And Sam's like, what? And he turns around, Sarah's gone, and he hears running up the stairs. So, like, he starts turning around and starts, like, speed walking towards her, and Sarah's already ran up the stairs, slams the basement door shut, locks it. And Sam's like, yo, like, open up, like, what are you doing? And Sarah's like, I know it's you, Dream. And Sam's like, dude, what? What are you saying? And Sarah's like, I've been watching you for a while, and I know that it's actually you. You are Dream. I've been trying to figure out your true identity for the longest time. And I knew that, like, the red herring, Clay. Of course your name isn't Clay. That is a perfect idea, to tell everyone your name is Clay, and then it's actually Sam. Oh my God, I'm a genius. You should have changed your voice. You should have used the voice changer in your videos, because it's so obvious when I hear you speak that you are actually Dream. And Sam's like, dude, what are you talking about? And Sarah's like, try and keep this up and you'll stay down there forever. And Sam's like, so what are you gonna do when your parents get back? And Sarah's like, my parents are gone for the week. And Sam's like, well, my mom's coming tomorrow. And Sarah will say, I'm just going to tell her that you were walking home and you chose to walk home yourself. She's going to think then that you got abducted and something like that. And I'll have you for the entire week and you'll starve unless you admit it. And Sam's like, oh my God, this woman's insane. So he's looking around and there's no actual windows. There's only like a light. And Sam's like, okay, well, what are you going to do if I admit that I'm Dream? And Sarah's like, well, you got to admit it first. And Sam's like, okay, you got me. I'm actually Dream. And Sarah's like, yes, I knew it. Oh, Dream, I knew it. Now, I have the identity of the most popular YouTuber ever. What shall I do with it? And Sam's kind of like, yeah, so are you gonna let me out yet? And Sarah's like, no, I don't think so. And Sam's like, well, okay, well, you know the truth now. Like, what else do you want to know? And Sarah's like, well, I gotta be certain, right? I need you to show me that you're logged into the Dream YouTube channel. At this point, Sam's like, what the fuck? Like, oh, this is the most insane thing I've ever... He says, okay, well, you gotta bring me my phone then. And Sarah's like, well, I'm gonna bring you your phone, and then you're gonna give me your password. And Sam's like, no can do. I'm going to type in the password myself or you're not going to see the Dream channel. Sarah's like, fine. Sam is so confused how that worked, but it did. So he's like, all right, screw it. We're going with this. And so Sarah, like, goes around. He hears her, like, because remember, Sam and Sarah are talking between a door at this point. And, he hears Sarah walk away, walk into a different room, get his phone, walk back. And Sarah's like, okay, I'm going to open the door, Dream. Sam still thinks it's hilarious. Now she's calling him Dream. And so she opens it, and Sam's like, all right, well, I'm going to get my phone. Grabs the phone, and is like, oh, so this has not been charging. It's at 5%. And Sarah's like, yep. And Sam's like, all right, cool, nice. All right, let me type in my password. So Sam starts to type his password, but is slowly moving himself into a position where he can bolt out of there. Because he's kind of remembered, he's putting in his head, he's like, all right, I'm going to remember where the exit is. He's like, all right, got the phone. and then turns around, starts sprinting. And Sarah's like, get back here, Dream. So Sam starts sprinting from the room to the room to the room to the room, closes doors behind him, knocks stuff over behind him. And she's like, get back here. Sam finds his way to the kitchen, gets out there, and starts like sprinting down because they live on a street, right? You know, she starts sprinting down the street, and that's when he like hears a bell, and that's when he turns around briefly and sees Sarah getting on her bicycle, and Sam's like, oh my God, I cannot ride a bicycle, but he's got the distance advantage. So he continues to run, and that's when he turns a corner and jumps into a bush, right? Jumps into a bush of another house, goes down there, and this is as still as possible. And he hears a bike approaching, and then a bike turn the corner, and then a bike stop. And Sam's like, she knows where I am. She must know where I am. Why did she stop right next to me? And Sam is in the bush as still as possible. And he hears the bike just sitting there and then start to move again. And Sam watches as the bike goes down the street. And Sam is like, oh my God. Oh my God. So he sends a text to his mom saying, like, Mom, can you pick me up? And she immediately starts calling him, and he declines the call and says, hey, can you pick me up? And she says, answer my call. So Sam kind of peeks his head out, sees that Sarah's nowhere to be seen, and picks up the phone. And his mom's like, Sam, what's wrong? Like, why do you need to be picked up? And Sam's like, oh, there's just a little complication, and I just don't think this is a great idea for me to be here. And Sam's mom's like, okay, say less, I'm coming. So sure enough, and Sam's like, well, so can you actually pick me up, can you pick me up not at her house? And Sam's mom's like, what do you mean? Can you pick me up at the park that's, 5 minutes away from our house? And Sam's mom's like, why? And Sam's like, Mom, I'm just going to tell you when I get to the car. I can't explain now, but just pick me up there. And she said, okay, I'll be there in 20 minutes. So now Sam is like, puts down the phone. It's like, okay, I have an escape. Sam's phone is at 1% too. So he's so glad he made the call when he did. And he starts like moving in the backyards of people's houses. So he starts like going from house to house in the backyards. And then eventually he gets to the place where the park is. And he's about to like jump over the fence when he stops just to look. And thank God he stopped, because he sees in the very distance a bike approaching him. And sure enough, it is Sarah on the bike. She does not see him, but he sees her. So he ducks down and he waits as the bike passes by. Sarah's been doing loops around the entire block because she must be like, how did I lose Dream? And anyways, Sam, hops out, runs into the park, and like hides behind a bush or whatever, hides in a tree, hides behind some kind of shrubbery, waiting for his mom. And he waits and he waits and he waits. And that's when he sees a car pull up. And he sees the car pull up and he looks in, and sure enough, it's his mom. So he gets up, he sprints out, and he opens up the driver's side car seat. He hops in, closes it, and says, Mom, go, go, go. And, his mom's like, Sam, what? Like, where's your stuff? He's like, I'll deal with that later. He's like, no, and Sam's mom's like, no, let's go pick it up. And Sam's like, Mom, let's drive around the neighborhood. Let me tell you what happened, and then we will make a choice from there. So Sam's mom's like, all right, fine. So Sam's mom starts driving around the neighborhood, and Sam's mom's like, fine, Sam, all right, tell me the story.
Click on the video
What
on screen
happened?
right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click it, do it.
Today I get a story time of another one of these Minecraft kids deciding to fight back against his babysitter in a quite unconventional way, you might say. I mean, I bet you can read the title right now. So yeah, with that being said, sit back, relax, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's call today's subscriber who submitted this story to me, let's call him Ryan. So Ryan was friends with this kid who really liked Minecraft. So we're calling him the Minecraft Kid because that always works in the title, and you guys like the Minecraft Kid stories, and I like telling them. But anyways, right, Ryan was invited over to this kid who he didn't know that well, and we're just going to call him the Minecraft Kid. So anyways, right, Ryan was invited over to the Minecraft Kid's house to, well, play Minecraft with him. The idea was he was going to go over on a Friday night and play some Bed Wars with this kid. Honestly, sounds like a pretty sick Friday night, if you know what I mean. However, he didn't really know much about this kid, and he only kind of just started to know him because Ryan's mom and the Minecraft Kid's mom became friends like a couple months ago when they were both volunteering for something, or maybe they just met. I don't know why, but Ryan's mom and the Minecraft kid's mom became friends. And for that reason, you know, Ryan's mom's like, oh, I have a son about your son's age. They should totally hang out. And since Ryan knew nothing about the Minecraft kid, at their first like interaction, which wasn't like a sleepover playdate type thing, he was like, so what do you like to do? And he's like, I like to play Minecraft. He's like, cool. Do you like to play Bed Wars? And he's like, yeah, it's my favorite game. So they bonded over it. So anyways, Ryan was heading over to the Minecraft kid's house. And Ryan's mom told him, hey, just so you know, the Minecraft kid's mom is not going to be there. She's going to be out for something. However, they hired a babysitter, and the Minecraft kid's mom should be back by like 10 or 11. And Ryan was like, all right, that's totally fine. I don't really care. It's not like we would have been hanging out with the Minecraft kid's mom and having her play in our Bed Wars trios or something, man. So it's fine. So Ryan gets over to the Minecraft kid's house, and when he gets there, no one greets him at the door. He kind of stands there for a second, and he knocks on it, and he stands there for like a little more time, and he hears noises coming from upstairs. And it's a 2-story house, and there's a window right above him, and the window is open, and he can hear noises. And you know what noises he hears? He hears block placing noises. He hears golden apple eating noises. He hears bed break noises. He's like, wait a minute. Bro, the Minecraft kid is playing Bed Wars right now. And, you know, Ryan was thinking that he would have yelled up to the Minecraft kid, but the door eventually opened, and presumably the babysitter, or who we thought the babysitter was, which, no, was the babysitter. That isn't, like, the big secret of the story, but the babysitter comes and, you know, opens the door and says, hey, so sorry, Minecraft kid's upstairs. I'm, you know, making dinner right now for you guys. It'll be ready in, like, 30 minutes, so make sure you're not in the middle of the game in, like, half an hour. And Ryan's like, all right, that sounds pretty cool. So he goes up the stairs, he opens the door, and the Minecraft kid's like, what's good, bro? I'm in the middle of a game. Get your, like, laptop out and set your stuff up, and we'll go into, like, doubles in just a second. And so sure enough, and by the way, guys, Bed Wars it's a Minecraft game where you can, like, it's fun. You should go look it up and play it maybe. But just for context, it's a video game on Minecraft. But anyways, right, so he sets up his gaming setup or whatever. He gets that all ready. And yeah, sure enough, the Minecraft kid eventually wins his game. Great work, Minecraft kid. Not so great work at later in the night, as you can tell by the title. But yeah, anyways, Ryan and the Minecraft kid, they start playing some Bed Wars duos. Life's pretty good. And that's until they're in the middle of a game and it's really, really intense, right? It's getting really down to the wire. If you know a thing or two about Bed Wars, all the beds have been broken, and they're really just both of them. Ryan and the Minecraft kid are super stacked. They have their golden apples. They have their diamond armor. Yes, they sweated to diamond armor. And the two people that were remaining were about as good as they were. And they were playing for all the marbles at this point, man. This was pretty intense. And that's when the babysitter yells, all right, guys, time for dinner. And the Minecraft kid's like, well, 1 second. Yells down that, and, you know, Ryan and the Minecraft kid are like, all right, how are we going to do this? Do we go in? Do we wait? And the Minecraft kid is a big fan of, like, camping, which in a video game, when you're camping, that basically just means that, like, you're staying on defensive ground and you're waiting for the opponent to come to you, which in Bed Wars, if you're super, super stacked, that can kind of give you the advantage because you can always drop golems. You got hometown advantage if you have the regen thing. Camping is an okay strategy, super late game, but that also means that the game's going to be a long time. And Ryan says to the Minecraft kid, hey man, do you think we should, like, be aggressive and we should be the one attacking them? Because, like, you know, our food is, like, dinner is ready. Do you think we should just go do that for the sake of doing that, just so we can, and we'll play another game when we come back? And the Minecraft kid's like, no, like, I know that we'll win. Like, we have prot 4 diamond, they don't. But if we go to them, there's a chance that they knock us off, we fall while going, they fireball us over. It's just a lot more dangerous to go over. He said, we're staying here. And Ryan, who doesn't really care, he's like, all right, man, sure, we'll stay here. And then, you know, a minute later, the babysitter says, guys, you don't want dinner to get cold? The Minecraft kid's like, 1 second. Which it wasn't going to be a second. Like, it was going to be probably like 5-10 minutes on average remaining of the game. And so, yeah, Ryan and the Minecraft kid were waiting it out. And the thing was, the other team was camping too, which basically means that they were both just collecting gear and such, and they weren't attacking each other. So then the babysitter was, you know, yelled up again, like, guys, like, come on, like, I made you something. Like, I told you not to be in the middle of a game. And he's like, once again, the Minecraft kid, instead of saying, hey, I'm so sorry, can we be down there in 5 to 10 minutes? Like, I apologize. He's like, 1 second. He just keeps yelling down 1 second. And the babysitter kind of did something that she probably shouldn't have. Like, it just wasn't that deep, but I think the babysitter was kind of getting mad that, you know, they just were refusing to come down when, you know, she was sweating out some good food or whatever. So the babysitter, what she does is she goes to the Wi-Fi router, and yes, you can probably already guess, unplugs it and replugs it, which basically, if your Wi-Fi, at least in my case, whenever my Wi-Fi is super slow or just kind of sucks, I go to the Wi-Fi router or whatever. I go what am I saying? I go to the Wi-Fi router, and I think I combined router and modem. My fault. I go to my Wi-Fi router or box, unplug it, replug it. Wi-Fi's down for like 5 minutes, but then it comes back nice and fresh and clean. However, the Wi-Fi goes down. So basically, right, Ryan and the Minecraft kid are in the middle of a match, and like they start to go to like buy something from the store, and Ryan's clicking on it, but it's not registering it. And Ryan's like, dude, I think I'm disconnecting. And at this point, right, if you disconnect, you lose. And the Minecraft kid's like, no, it's not working. Why can't I place blocks? Why are things not registering? And then both at the same time, they get a message, like, not kicked, but like, it disconnects from Hypixel, like no connection. And the Minecraft kid's like, no! Started slamming his fist. And Ryan, who doesn't really care, and looks at the Minecraft kid, and Minecraft kid was like, I was on a 99 win streak. I won 99 games in a row. I was going to go to 100. I've been recording the whole thing. I was going to clip it and post it on YouTube, man. I was about to get 100. Basically, he was pretty upset. So Ryan and the Minecraft kid, Ryan just looks at the Minecraft kid and be like, all right, man, I'm so sorry. Like, we'll grind it out tonight. We'll get you back to at least halfway, which was a lie. They were not going to play, nevertheless, win 50 games in a row. But, you know, Ryan's just trying to calm the air. And he's like, yeah, man, don't worry. We'll get back to it. So they walk down, and the babysitter is waiting there. And she's like, guys, like, I asked you to come down. If you weren't going to come down, you should have at least told me. And I would have put it back in the stove. Now the food is cold. It really took me, you know, turning off the Wi-Fi to get you guys to come down. Teenagers these days. Or not teen, I guess. She's a teenager. She's the babysitter. I guess preteens these days. And that's when Ryan is like, oh my God, she turned off the Wi-Fi. That's why we frozen the game. And Ryan looks over at the Minecraft kid, whose face, he's just stood there. Like he's been frozen by like a spell that turns you to stone. He's just frozen there, looking at her. His like jaw starts to slack a little bit, like, oh my God, it was you. It was you who got in between me and the 100 Bed Wars win streak. Real quick comment, Minecraft, if you made it this far into the video, as that will be the secret word of the day. And if you want to support the channel, as always, just go ahead and binge watch several videos or a bunch of videos whenever you have the time. And let me know in the comments if you do this, because it really does support me more than you can probably even imagine. It boosts the channel. YouTube likes watch time anyways. So right now, remember, Ryan and the Minecraft kid just lost in a very important game for the Minecraft kid. He almost got a 100 win streak, which is pretty impressive, I'm not going to lie. But unfortunately, the babysitter, who kind of like overreacted a little bit, got mad and unplugged the Wi-Fi, and that made them lose the game that they probably were actually going to win. And so when they walk down, they have no idea that the babysitter was the reason why they lost the game, until the babysitter is like, oh, guys, like, I really had to pull the Wi-Fi plug to get you guys down here. Like, crazy how like preteens are these days, or kids on their phones too much, like one of that like old man behavior type thing, even though this girl was like 17 or something. And the Minecraft kid is just so angry. He's like, you're the reason I lost my Minecraft game. And she's like, sorry, like, should have come down faster, or should have at least told me. And she goes to sit down, and Ryan is also like, all right, well, this is going to be a little awkward, but whatever. I'm still going down to sit down, like, whatever. Like, he's not going to react that ridiculously. How do I say this? Yeah, no, he acted ridiculously. The Minecraft kid waits until the girl sits, or the babysitter, she's 17. I guess she's still like a girl, I guess. She is, I don't know. She waits till the babysitter, right, sits down. And when the babysitter sits down, the Minecraft kid runs up to her, grabs a chair. This is like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Grabs a chair, turns around, pulls down his pants, and rips up. Dude, I'm 19 years old, and I'm telling you about Minecraft Kid revenge farting in someone's face. I'm doing it. I'm going through with it. I'm too far in the story to turn around. The Minecraft Kid, after getting on the chair, ripping down his pants, farts in the babysitter's face, directly her eye while it was open. If you don't know, the reason why the fart smells bad, because there's a lot of gross particles in it. And when the gross particles get into your eye can get infected, and it can be really bad. So the babysitter legitimately falls out of her chair and starts like screaming because because apparently he really ripped one. He really ripped one, man, and her eye was open and it was really close. And Ryan was like, well, so this kid and I have one thing in common. We like Bed Wars, and we have nothing else in common. And this will probably be the last time I ever hang out with him. And so the babysitter's like, what did you do? Why would you do that? Like, that's so ridiculous and disgusting. Like, my eye, it burns. Oh my God. Oh, my eye, it burns. Like, why would you do that? Like, And Ryan looks at the Minecraft Kid, and the Minecraft Kid is literally laughing. He's like, and Ryan's like, oh my God, this kid's because the thing was, Ryan's thinking to himself, dude, this kid must do this all the time, because like, you're not just gonna think to yourself, wow, I'm so angry at this person. Let me wait until they sit down, grab a chair, stand on it, turn around, pull down my pants, and fart directly point blank into their face. That's just not something that comes to you in the heat of the moment. That I mean, maybe I'm just built different from all you guys. I really don't know, but that definitely doesn't come to me. But sure enough, right, the babysitter eventually gets up, and Ryan and the Minecraft Kid look at her face, and her left eye is red and swollen. And Ryan's like, oh my God, that is definitely not a coincidence. And the babysitter is like, move out of my way. And she moves past both of them, goes and finds the home phone, because I guess her phone wasn't on or something, and legitimately calls 911, an ambulance. Which, okay, that was maybe a little excessive, but maybe I wouldn't drive if my eyes were impaired and I thought that they were going to be infected and it would have been bad. And she walks back into the room, and she's like angry, but also very clearly in pain, right? And she's like, her hand is over her eye, and she's like, you, like, why would you do that? The Minecraft Kid's like, well, I was actually on a 99 win streak, and you pulled the plug, and I lost my 99 wins. She's like, and you projectiled all your stuff out of your butt. Oh, God. How can I have a straight face and tell the story? Anyway, she's like, and you probably gave me a raging infection. My eye burns. Like, if I lose sight, I'm suing your She was getting mad. And eventually, right, the ambulance does come. She explains the ridiculousness of the situation. The guy, she sits in the ambulance, drives to the hospital. They check her out or whatever. But remember, this is from Ryan's perspective, so we don't exactly know what the doctor says. Ryan's mom, who got really invested in the situation afterwards, said that, like, the doctor's, like, her eye is fine now, but the doctor said that, like, it really could have gone south if she didn't go there, like, immediately, which is insane. So anyways, right, Ryan and the Minecraft Kid are legitimately just in this house alone, and that's when the Minecraft Kid's mom comes back early, super angry and upset, because the babysitter sent a message to, his mom explaining everything and why that she had to leave the premises immediately. So the Minecraft Kid's mom had to leave whatever she was doing to come back, and she was like, walks in, she's like, you, turns to the Minecraft Kid, like, you did it, you pulled a face fart on someone again. We've already talked about this. And Ryan, who is still there, he's already texted his mom to come pick him up, is just like, again? I mean, he had a sneaking suspicion that this was not a first-time thing. As I said, in the heat of the moment, you don't think to, use your butt as a weapon. But he's like, again? This is a thing? And the Minecraft Kid's like, but Mom,
I was on a 99 Bed Wars win streak. And she's like, that's enough. No more Bed Wars for you forever. And my kid's like, Mom, no, Mom, I promise I won't fart in anyone else's face again. What am I doing with my life? Anyways, right, so Ryan's mom comes, and Ryan's mom's like, hey, so sorry, things were weird today. Like, I'm just gonna pick Ryan up. Thank you so much for having him over. Ryan, come with me now. And, Ryan walks over and goes in the back seat of the car, and Ryan's mom is like, so, do you want to elaborate on, I need to pick you up right now. My friend farted in the babysitter's eye, and now she's at the hospital. And Ryan did elaborate. And it really didn't add any clarity to the situation. In fact, Ryan's mom just became more
Click on the
confused.
video on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click it, do it.